Yo, what's going on, everybody? Woo! What are you doing? Welcome into the show. How you doing? Welcome in. How you doing? How you doing? All right. Oh, my gosh. I forgot to turn on the camera, Griffin. I forgot to turn on all the things in the studio that make the studio go. I forgot to turn things on. Okay, I'm going to do it. We're going to do it live. Welcome in, everybody. Appreciate you guys all being here. What's going on? My name is UltimatDJz. This is Talking Trek Live, Star Trek Fleet Command's official podcast. Appreciate y'all being here. Y'all hit it up in the chat. Talking Trek server sound off. Bam! Hit it. Let's do it. Come on. Start posting your memes. Get excited. Wolfwood kicking us off on server 49. Thank you. Zandy's on server 12. Loving Wave Defense. Gherkin on European 184. What's up? Noon Whistle on 29. Louis P on server 20. It's Hunter on 28. Thank you. Captain Q on 57. Kid Shadow on 74. Crazy on 24. Star Fox on 146. Star P on 70. Johnny 5 on server 44. Captain Johnny Walker on 12. What are you doing? Spectre on 11. Biggs on server 20. Daverick on 21. Juby on server 60 and 61. Darkfire on 70. DC Two Toes on 31. Taft on 155. Yo, what's up, Battle Cry? How you doing? Welcome into the chat as a first-time chatter. Appreciate you being here. Daddy Dave on 24. Bel Air, what's up? How you doing? Anubis on 201. Thank you very much for being here. Andy McCanny Face on 188. Night of Equality on 24, as is Klingon Loki on 24. Thank you. What's up, Dutch Guy on European 131. Battle Cry on 22. MDB on 51. Alpha Cypher on 21. Engineer on 89. Notorious BRG on 55, and Big Will on server 9. Thank you guys very much for being here. Good evening. Welcome into the show. My name is UltimatDJz. Appreciate you guys all being here. Griffin, what's up? Trader, what's up? How y'all doing? Welcome. Why is that on? I didn't even mean, that's not supposed to be on. Let me hit this button. Got it. Nope, that's not the right button. That's not this. Okay, got it. Whew, what's up? Hey, guys.
So many problems.
So many problems. Yeah, the buttons. There's so many buttons. I created all the buttons for the charity show, and Griffin, I haven't taken those buttons off yet. I need to, like, archive it or make a folder or something and just move it off to the side because it was a great set of buttons. Okay, let me just say. I was very happy with my buttons, but now they're confusing me.
It's okay to let go of the buttons. You no longer need the buttons.
Now it's confusing me. All right, and the buttons are confusing me now. I've got two different sets of buttons. I got to. Anyway, all right. What's up? Hey, Mentalo Man, server 110. How you doing? Welcome into the chat. Appreciate you guys all being here. Listen, we've got a lot to get to today. Bubba Joe is on his way in. I hope he right, Trader, because he said he appreciated me actually giving a proper time today, because I gave him the time a while ago. I said, hey, listen, we're going to 5 o'clock today. He was like, wow, really? Like, really? You're giving me a time?
I know. He's been super slammed at work, so.
Well, I sent him news.
That's why you may not be here right now.
Oh no, I sent him news. All right, so if we don't get to that, might be a thing. Maybe Trader will have to read your sports news tonight. In case he doesn't show up, I'll send it to you.
As long as it's not any comment about Taylor Swift, I'm fine.
Oh, there is one story about Taylor Swift.
Not surprising.
All right, Trader, I'm sending you the sports news right now. And for those of you watching in the Twitch chat, again, I have been vehemently, is that the right word, vehement? How do you spell, like, when you see the word vehement, all right, but that's not actually what it is. What is it?
Vehement.
Vehement?
Like I'm vehemently opposed. Vehement.
Vehement. Vehemently.
Yes. Haven't you heard everyone say I'm vehemently opposed to that?
I just didn't know what the word looked like. That's all. I have been vehemently told to stop apologizing for ads on Twitch. So I will just tell you that I understand. It's really hard not to say. Yeah, my bad. Sorry. But what we're going to do is we're going to start the stupid news while I send the Twitch audience to break. See, incentives to listening live in Discord. But we're going to send the audience to break while we start into our stupid news, Trader. That way we can go our hour. We can get, like, if I run it now, then I got an entire hour. So I'm sorry. Sorry. See, damn it. Sorry.
Buzzer button.
Okay. I understand how frustrating it might be to go to a commercial break only moments after joining a stream. However, if we do it now, then we don't have to do it for another hour. So that's what we're going to do. We are going to take our very quick break. And when we come back, you get the tail end of Stupid News. But we're going to jump in to the new feature. We're going to jump into the new arc. Bubba Joe is here to tell you all about why Wave Defense may be the feature of the year. We're going to talk about that and what Scopely's game design had intended with this feature, specifically for those of you Ops 30 through 35. I have a message just for you on the other side of this break. Welcome into Talking Trek, guys. The meat and potatoes kicks off right after this. Welcome into the show. Appreciate you guys all being here.
Is the message suck it?
No, Bubba. God. Oh. Did that get out before you guys went to break? Did you hear that before he went to break? Because I'm pretty sure Bubba Joe just said, was the message suck it? Bam! Verizon. All right. Can you hear me now? All right, ladies and gentlemen, live from all across the world, it is time for your stupid news headlines. Let's go.
Stupid news.
Oh, my God. It's fun stuff. Fun stuff today.
Leaving everyone in minutes of suspense left on class.
What? I didn't hear you. Sorry. Wrong button.
I said you're leaving everyone on Twitch in suspense left on that ending.
Scopely says, suck it. Have you been shopping for your wireless plan lately? Check out the all-new Unlimited Plus squared to the third power ×2 with Unlimited. Switch now and we'll save you $28,000 off your next mortgage payment. All right, anyway. Oh, lordy. Welcome in. Appreciate you guys all being here. Let's see what's going on in the news here, Bubba Joe. We got some stuff. George Santos is in the news. Okay, first of all, I see this name all over the place. Who is this guy? Is he some politician? Is he a politician, George Santos?
Yes.
All right. For the record, I have no idea who this guy is. I don't know if he's left, right. I don't know if he's conservative, liberal. I just like to make fun of politicians, so you can get all huffy-puffy if you want. I have no idea who this guy is, but he was all over the news today. Did he get into some trouble? Did he just get into some trouble? Because he is everywhere. Oh. He is everywhere. And here's the article. George Santos, fresh off his historic expulsion last week, Bubba Joe has now created a Cameo account to make ends meet, where the public...
Oh, of course he did.
He created a Cameo account where the public can pay for a personalized message from George Santos. But see, here's the problem with that. Hiring Santos might deliver a message that you don't necessarily want delivered. It could maybe be perceived as not the best move if you actually want the recipient to believe what you're saying. All right? See, and that holds true for any politician. You don't have to be left or right, okay? There you go. That's a politician joke. Got it. Deputies in Florida responded to a country club, Bubba Joe, to help eject an unusual trespasser this past week. A panther.
Was it you?
No. It was a
panther
that was taking a nap near a stairwell in this country club. Yes, a panther. Which was highly unusual because normally the only time you see a Florida Panther passed out in public is when one of the hockey players is out and about.
Not to be confused with a Carolina Panther who can just be seen found dead on turf in a football game.
I know. Hey, did you guys see the new trailer this past week from Rockstar Games? Did you guys watch that trailer? Does that not look like the most incredible video game footage you've ever seen in your life? Video game fans are excited, yet very actually frustrated, Bubba Joe. Freaking out after learning that the new highly anticipated Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be coming out, seeing great cutscenes and great footage, amazing game design, but also upset that the game doesn't release until 2025. So, yeah, they're not super happy about that. While Americans wait, they're simply just going to have to continue performing real-life carjackings in major cities instead. It's no big deal. Yeah. Yeah, they're like, listen, we can do it in real life. It's fine. A Brazilian woman this past week, Bubba Joe, celebrated her 115th birthday. 115th birthday. And has claimed that the secret to living a long life is to eat plenty of beans. That's what she says. She eats beans twice a day and has every day for as long as she can remember. She says if you eat a ton of beans, you'll avoid catching any sicknesses. I'm wondering if it's mainly because people just stay away from you. Don't worry about it. You live in a bubble. Right? It is magic, all right? Yeah, but no one's going to come around. All right, that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Now, Bubba Joe, you were running a little bit late. I did send you your news, but I also, in true DJ's form, very prepared, very ready for any contingency, so I also sent the news to Trader. Would you like to read your news today, or would you like to banter with your weekend sports desk news anchor Trader for the sports news today? What do you want to do?
I would like to transfer responsibility for this stupid news segment to Trader.
That's what we're talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, live to the sports desk with sports. Yeah! Trader, how you doing? What are you doing? Trader, what's going on in the world of sports? Oh, wrong button. Sorry, I was hitting the wrong button. Trader, what's going on in the world of sports today? What do you got?
Well, first up, we have former Chargers star Sean Merriman, who believes that the 2023 season will be Bill Belichick's last to the New England Patriots. This isn't going to be too surprising because the Patriots have been so bad, they're now being called the New England Jets.
The New England Jets, get it? All right, what else you got?
Well, speaking of the New York Jets, Coach Robert Saleh dispelled a report that said quarterback Zach Wilson is reluctant to reassume the team's starting job.
Yeah.
But honestly, who could blame Wilson if he wanted to pursue a more fun gig, such as working for the IRS or the U.S. Postal Service?
Yeah, that's true. Hey, you want to come back and play football? No, I'd rather pick up trash. Okay. All right. Trader, you got anything else? Or are you going to veto my last story?
I do, and I'm reading it in protest. An unnamed female celebrity has made her return to the stands to root for Travis Kelce as the Kansas City Chiefs played the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
This has to be true love because right now the weather in Wisconsin is like the Chiefs wide receivers. Ice cold.
Boom! Yes! Take that, Kansas City. There you go. Welcome into the show.
How do you feel about that joke, DJ?
All right.
She just censored your girl.
Yeah, first of all, I know she censored. It's fine. Don't worry about it. What was the score of that game anyway? What did the score of that game end up being? Did we win? I didn't even watch it.
The Packers won.
Did the Packers win? What?
Yep.
All right, man. We are doing good. We got a good season going on here. You know what? Take that, Aaron Rodgers. We didn't need you anyway. Let's see. Where are we?
The Packers were the ones in the black and white striped uniforms, right?
Wait, are you messing with me right now? Hold on. Let me look at the cheat. No, they won 27-19. See, you made me look. All right, you made me look 27-19. So what does that put our record at right now? Let's see. 1, 2.
I'm making a point that there were some pretty questionable calls to get to the game.
Oh yeah. Wait. In our favor or not in our favor?
In your favor.
Oh well. They knew I was watching. I didn't actually watch. So what are we now?
If they knew you were watching, why did you have to ask what the score was?
Because that's memory problems. Anyway, good afternoon, everybody. Appreciate you guys all being here. Welcome into the show. This man, I just got a terrible DM, whatever you guys want to call it. Bubba, go look at Discord. Why? Why right now? That makes me so flippin' sad. I don't even. Go look, Bubba. It's going to make you sad, too.
What?
Echo! Fix it! I don't even want to do a show now.
Yes, you do.
That makes me so freaking mad.
Wave defense is good.
Wave defense is good. Let's got bad news. Let's got bad news, peeps. All right, anyway, whatever. Now, we got to push on. The show must go on. All right, everybody, welcome into the show. My name is UltimatDJz. Appreciate it. No, I'll just tell you. No, I'll tell you. Not personally. No, just a good friend of mine is leaving the company, and I'm very I don't like hearing about that. I'm not going to go into any more detail than that, but like a very good friend and somebody who does great work is leaving the company, and that makes me sad. That's not too much to say, is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, is it? All right. No, it's not. Echo. Stop. Shh. Okay. All right. Bubba says I can't talk about it anymore. It just makes me sad. Really? I can't say that? That I got a buddy? Okay.
No.
Okay. Censor. Fix it. Now we're back in time. Nobody heard anything that I said. Welcome in, everybody. Appreciate you guys all being here. Welcome into Arcfall, December. Bubba Joe, wave defense. Wowzers, right? This is a very, very cool concept. A very, very cool concept. Not without its issues a little bit yesterday, okay? Obviously not without Arc launch issues. But nonetheless, a really solid core of a feature. Now, last night we were on Twitch. We were playing it out, Bubba Joe. I was tinkering with it. My team did pretty good. My team did okay. Just out of curiosity, Bubba, I know you probably played a couple. You have big ships. Just tell the people real quick, where did you go? Like, what progress did you make? Who were you playing with? Did you find this feature to be a challenge?
I found this feature to be a challenge. I don't remember the exact makeup of my team. I want to say there was a couple of 50s and a couple of 40s to go with me. And we got through round 8 of the we lost on round 9. We got through round 8 on the 40s.
Wow.
On the smaller of the two.
Okay, well, daggone. So Bubba Joe playing with an average. I shouldn't say that. With a good makeup of team, right? Like the average age in this game is G4. Okay, like that's just a fact. All right, I'm just going to tell you. I think it's like Ops 44, Ops 45. Bubba Joe is the actual average player in this game now, as far as a true free to play. So by going with that team, that's actually interesting to hear. I actually would have expected you to go on through. Look, Garf in the chat made it all the way through Wave 10. I know that there is an alliance on my server that made it to Wave 10. I didn't. As a matter of fact, I made it as far as... I didn't mean that, Hammer. That was very left-handed. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that you're average. I'm just saying. That's not the right word that I meant. I'm just talking about, like, Bubba Joe didn't take a team of whales. Can I say? That's what I meant to say.
Sure.
He didn't take a team of whales. My team, in fact, Bubba Joe, we went with almost entirely G5 players. All right? We went with big ships. I think we did have a G4. One of the players was a G4 in mine. Mine was mostly G5 players. We made it as far as you. We made it to Wave 9 and died there. So we got the rewards for Wave 8. I am going to tell you right now, for a day one on a feature, this has me fascinated. All right. There's a lot we're going to talk about today, and we are going to do some education. I'm not just trying to provide editorial. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff that we learned yesterday. What we learned, Bubba Joe, is that the level of these hostiles matters not. Okay. Not compared to anything else in the game. These hostiles are much more powerful than the typical level counterpart in the game, like looking at a 28 Borg probe, for example. These things are beefy. All right, beefy is the right word. As a matter of fact, and we do have a lot of screenshots that we can share with you today. Excuse me. So let's just dive right into it. Bubba Joe, there was big power jumps here. Big power jumps that happened as a result of moving through these waves. We started, for example, and I made several observations. So maybe what we can start with here is what I learned. Just kind of brief bullet point what I learned going through this. And then I'd like to touch base with Bubba Joe, and then we can kind of compare notes and maybe give you guys some teaching on this. Because, Bubba, what I noticed, a couple of things. One, technical bug-wise, okay? Do your best to not engage in battle near the target. If you're in the center of the system, you are far more likely to get stuck. Okay, like if you're inside that inside ring, okay, you are far more likely to get stuck in battle. It's not a permanent stuck, because you can engage in other battle and then it will free up eventually. Here's the big problem, Bubba Joe, when you fly in there and you get stuck and then your other ship is dead. That is more challenging. That leaves you a little bit more vulnerable to the clock, all right? But if you're inside the system and you're trying to do battle, there's a couple of rings. Most of these rings exist throughout the entire game in all the servers, okay, Bubba? But if you take a look inside the system, you're going to see, of course, the system's edge ring. Then you've kind of got an outer ring, a mid ring, and then an inner ring. I'm here to tell you, almost reliably, almost consistently, if I entered into battle inside that inner ring, I was going to experience gameplay problems, okay? Now, I've relayed that information up. Hopefully, it's something that they can act on, all right? But I don't even know what causes something like that. What does the proximity to the target, or what does your position in the system have to do with getting stuck in combat? But I'm telling you, nobody's getting stuck in combat all the way out at the edges. You know what I'm saying? It's the weirdest thing. I don't know why, all right? But that is happening. Obviously, it's not intended. That is one thing that I learned. Another thing that I learned is they did actually make this, Bubba, slightly easier than what they had originally told us with regards to the spawn points, all right? Originally, they told us 10 spawn points. Well, we have pretty much identified that now we are down to 6, all right? 6 spawn points that come in on the system, or at least, Bubba Joe, maybe not necessarily only 6, but it appears that only 6 waves of hostiles are appearing per wave, okay? Because really, I think this is accurate from Jules Verne and Blue Mandalorian. I just threw it in the graphics room for you guys. I'm pretty sure these hostiles are only flying in from 6 different spots, Bubba, okay? Further, what I've learned about the way that the hostiles are flying in, and this is crucial. I'm sure a lot of you guys observed this, but I'm going to point it out for those of you who did not. There are usually between 3 and 4 larger groups of FKR hostiles. Bubba, do we agree on that? Usually per wave, 3 to 4 of those are going to be groups of 8 to 12 to 15 hostiles, and those are FKR. Now, I'm not saying that they're not beefy, okay? Not saying that they're not beefy, because they are later on, but they are the softest of all of them. They're the softest of all of them, okay? As a matter of fact, if we take a look at what else is showing up, thank you, Jules, this is beautiful. We'll throw this in the graphics room here. If you take a look at what else is actually showing up, Bubba Joe, you've got Axiom, you've got Borg, and you've got Swarm. If you're doing the level 30, the smaller ones, okay? 30 through 50.
That's not the only.
Well,
that's not the only.
The Texas class are not showing up until you go to the 40-60 one, right?
I'm talking about the miners.
Okay, we're going to get to the miners in a second, because those are deceitful. Those are very deceitful, okay? As a matter of fact, we ran this test last night. There's also a survey ship that shows up. And by the way, I like what they did with this mechanic, okay? I like the traders. I like what they did here, because it gives everybody the chance to play. Bubba Joe, I acknowledged and learned early on last night that the traders, not only are they fast as heck, they have no power. Now, guys, this is super important. They have no power. They're like 300 power, okay? If you look at their DPR, if you look at their hull health, a Rialta could kill them, okay? However, Bubba Joe, for science, I let one slam into my target. Because I'm thinking, if I'm looking at it like statistics, if I'm looking at it based on its DPR, if I'm looking at, its DPR was 58, Bubba. 58. Not 58 million or 580,000 or 58,000. 58. That's the DPR. So I kind of thought, well, Bubba, if these things are going to attack the station with the damage that they are statistically, I don't even care about those. I don't even care about them. I'm just going to let them hit the base. So you think. Buddy, they are jam-packed. They are the kamikaze surveys. There's a go-home cannon somewhere embedded in those things. They took out probably 10% of my target's hull.
It's a transport filled with explosives, DJ. Of course that's what's going to happen.
Oh, buddy. It wrecked us. It wrecked us, okay? So what then... What becomes the strategy? Here's the thing. When we're looking at these ships, they're obviously getting harder, okay? And again, when we're looking at the Axion, we're looking at the Swarm, we're looking at the Borg, those are even harder. But when those come out, do they come out in waves of 15? No. When the specialty ships come out, they're coming out in waves of 4. 2 to 4, okay? But that doesn't mean that they are not packing a punch. They are huge, okay? These things are tough. And part of what we discovered last night, Bubba Joe, is you can't just zoom out. I mean, I know, pro tip, extended zoom, that's what Beck told us, that extended zoom would be very helpful here. I am going to actually argue that. Extended zoom is great just to kind of see where everything is coming, but once you learn the spawn points, Bubba, you need to zoom in. You got to zoom in because you have to see what you're hitting. You have to, because I took in, now again, we did a lot of experimentation last night, all right? But Bubba, I flew in with my Sanctus, and then I flew in with a Tally, all right? Obviously, the Tally is the weaker of the two, clearly, but I wanted it for speed, and I wanted it to try to catch up and keep up with, like, the surveys and some of the softer hostiles. Well, I wasn't paying attention. I sent that Tally up again. And by the way, would it work against the Borg probe? Sure. Did great. Until I took it up against one of the Swarm. Instant death. Instant death. All right? These hostiles are no joke. And even the FKR ones, as they get a little bit higher, they're kind of beefy, Bubba Joe. They're pretty big. Okay? So what we're looking at here, what Jules and Blue have put together, is the quantity. Wow, you even mapped their position? Oh my God, Bubba, look at this. Jules is you're such a smarty pants. Look at this. I thought they were random. So you've actually mapped it out, what position they come from and where? Bubba, look at this chart. I'll put this in the graphic.
I'm driving.
Blue, do it anyway. All right. Yes, Hypodermics, this is in the graphics room. This is brilliant. Man, if you want to be a nerd, if you really want to plan this thing out, this chart is a must-have, all right? That's right, all hell Jules, all right? Because not only is he telling you how many, what level, but also what position they're going to come from, okay? All of them broken down, and this is for the Borg Research Lab, okay? So for the 30 through the 50. And by the way, that's no joke. You just heard Bubba Joe didn't finish level 10. I have seen some screenshots. I have seen some people get through level 10. As a matter of fact, I've seen one screenshot of somebody getting through the Section 31 covert base level 10. Now, I've only seen a couple of those screenshots. I mean, that takes a ton of G6 ships, I would imagine. But no, did they get a golden ticket? No, but they got a lot of faction credits. All right, they got a lot of faction credits. But what they've done here with this, Bubba, is they are definitely progressively harder. Definitely don't worry about the level. The level does not correspond to what's in game. All right, and this is what kind of drove us to doing some experimentation last night, and therefore what drove us to be curious, Bubba, about what this is looking like for the lower level players. This feature is available for Ops 30 Plus. Now, let me ask. All right, and there was. I thought a lot about this last night. For those of you guys who watched last night, I was tired, I was cranky, and I kind of was a little bit short fused with a player who was in fact like low 30s, who wouldn't. The player was very, very critical. Shorts, Yeah, a little. I've been way worse. I've been much worse, okay? It was an Ops 35 player, and obviously was not having a ton of success with this feature, okay? Not having a ton of success with this feature, and I get it. I understand that. I don't believe that an Ops 35 player with an Ops 35 team is going to make it to Wave 8 in this feature. I don't see it happening at all, Bubba Joe. I mean, G4 rare ships were dying in round 5 and round 6. You know? So this is certainly a very progressive challenge. So I had a chance to talk to Echo and Game Design about this earlier today. And by the way, I have requested that Game Design come on and talk about this because, in my opinion, Bubba Joe, this feature deserves some celebration. All right, are there some engineering problems? Are there even a tweak or two with the game design? Sure. Okay, I'm not saying that it's perfect. I think there's one or two things that I'd like to change here, but what a very core, solid concept for gameplay. That being said, I had a chance. I've asked them to come on the show. Don't know if that's going to pan out or not, but I did get some commentary from them. Okay, and really, it's very holistic. I kind of like the response that they gave, and I'm going to give that to you here coming up in just a minute or two. But, Bubba, just like Solo Armadas, just like a lot of features in this game, you know, Frank A and the secondary group, the secondary evolution of Swarm, this stuff is really challenging up front, okay? Did I mess one up, Jules? I'm sorry. I'll put this one back up. Okay, here's the better one. And I'll put this one in the graphics room. My apologies. So I cut one off. All right, my bad. Sorry. There go all the emojis. You guys are going to have to put all the emojis back. All right, go back in there and give him all the loves, all right? I just had to delete all your lovey emojis, Jules. They put all the lovey emojis on the other one. All right? But this is definitely a challenge up front. Now, last night there was definitely maybe a little bit of controversy, right? There was a little bit of frustration, especially from the lower level players, and I get it, all right? Some people were saying they couldn't even get through Wave 1, all right? Now, that I am going to force myself to acknowledge that position. I don't know if that is a common position, but, Bubba Joe, I also made the statement of saying, hey, listen, I think you guys should probably be able to get through like Wave 3, Wave 4, maybe make it to Wave 5, okay? Like that's kind of, if I was writing this, that is what I would, in my perfect game design scenario, I would want the entry-level players to still have a good feeling about playing. I wouldn't want them to come in and die in round 1. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them to come in and die in round 2. I still want them to be able to engage. I still want them to be able to enjoy a feeling of satisfaction and enjoy a feeling of mild progression. All right? And so that's what I would have thought. However, I have been told that there's a lot of players that were not getting through even Wave 2, right? And so that got me to thinking. Maybe this is a little bit tricky up front. So then we start looking for the strategies. We found the thing with the surveys. And listen, again, what my team was doing last night, which is definitely not the way to play or anything. It's just what we did on day 1, and we were trying to cycle people in. But what we would do, Bubba, is we had a couple of bigs that would go with like 1 or 2 G3 and G4 players, all right? But our instructions to them were, hey, we want you guys to do the specialty stuff, all right? So your responsibility is speed. You are responsible for the surveys because, by the way, a Rialto will kill them. And if I, with a Sanctus, Bubba Joe, am going after that survey, it's not that it's costing me time. Or I said it that backwards. It's not that it's costing me damage. It's costing me time. It's costing me very valuable time because that's time that I should be using to knock out the big ones that would ultimately do a ton more damage to my littles. If my littles went against the swarm, they're going to die. Okay? So I wanted them kind of going after some of those specialties. I wanted them to bring in a Franklin. Because, by the way, per wave, we're talking 4 hostiles. 1 player, 1 ship can do that. If a wave came in, Bubba Joe, and there was no swarm, for example, all right, I don't know if that happens. There may be. Let's see. Nope, looks like there's swarm every single round. So let's say that there's swarm that comes in, all right, 2, 4, whatever. I've got one player in there with a Frank A. That's your job. That's your job. Okay? You got a tally in there. There's 4 Borg probes that come in. That's your job. Okay? You leave the big, the repeated hostiles. You leave the wave of 15 hostiles to the big players because we're not taking as much damage on those guys. Yes, they're a little bit softer, but we also have to kill 3 to 4 times as many as you. So let us do those so that you don't lose too much hull and you take out the specialty stuff. Now, Captain Pike, exactly. There's no way to coordinate this in game. No way to coordinate this in game. You can't do it in chat. You can't do it in PM. I mean, and even the game is too busy, Bubba Joe. You can't watch chat. You literally can't watch chat while you're trying to play this feature. Unless you're on PC, and then you can have the strip on the side, the strip chat, or you're in voice. Okay? You're in voice, then it becomes a little bit better. And that's just it, Maximus. What if you're below level 35? You got the regular Franklin, then you're not the guy for that. Maybe you're the Mantis guy. Maybe you're the Tally guy. Okay? But yeah, if you're below 30, regular Franklin, by the way, ain't going to cut it. Ain't going to cut it. You need a Franklin A for those swarm. Those swarm are beast. Okay? So we started trying to divvy up responsibility and time management, Bubba. That is what I discovered was probably the most crucial thing. Because no matter how the large size of the players, as a matter of fact, I've got a great tip for you on boosting. Okay? But guess what? Bubba, my team made it the exact same amount of progression. It wasn't whole health. It wasn't endurance for us. It was overwhelming numbers. The quantity did it. As in, we needed more speed. We needed more ways to kill quicker. Okay? I don't know if it was that way for you, Bubba, but I found, listen, we spent so much Cerritos boost juice. We spent so many max fortifications, and we made it to the exact same point every single time. Why would that be, Bubba?
Because you didn't have enough ships.
We were overrun. It was like the zombie apocalypse. Speed became important. You know what? You daggone right, Dragon Keeper, because I looked in my, I don't have any of those. Dragon Keeper says the away team's assignment for the Impulse Exocomp just got a lot more valuable. Sure did. I'm going to have to invest in it because I don't have any. Okay? Yeah, I'm going to need that for sure. So let's talk about you got it, Packet. Let's talk about some of the stuff that is going to be available. Bubba Joe, it is day one. All right? It's day one.
And I hear you, DJ. You want impulse speed? I'm not certain that's actually going to be the difference maker. I'm not convinced.
Well, I'm not convinced either. But I'm telling you, last night.
Are you really losing a lot of time going from ship to ship? Or are you losing all the time spending 5 seconds in battle?
Both. Okay. I mean, these ships.
Does the impulse speed help the 5 seconds in battle?
It does not. Does
it shave off more than a second going from one hostile to the next?
Probably not, truthfully. Okay. Yeah, no, listen, you're exactly right. But I think every little thing is going to help here.
But what I think you actually need is ships. And so what happened with mine, if I can share my experience.
Please.
What happened with mine is we had 5 players. We lost an entire player in round 1.
Oh, yeah.
Now we're down to 4 players.
Target selection, I'm assuming, or just strength?
I don't know. Maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah, because there's definitely some crew. There's some crewing crewjitsu here,
sure,
for sure.
All of that's relevant. All of that matters. Okay. And when we were going into round 8, our station took some damage, but I think we were down to 4 ships at the end of round 8, and maybe 3 or 4 ships. And, just some of those players, they're just dying against the targets that are coming. They don't have the ability to engage the numbers and, the targets that are coming. Maybe they can engage a specialty ship, but not a general ship. And so when you are dwindling down in numbers, which you're going to do as the wave defense goes on, it doesn't matter if you have an impulse speed of 75,000. You're still contained to that 5-second battle window. You need more ships is what you need.
Well, so here's the thing. The one thing that Scopely has told us is that it is unlikely that the scope of ships is going to change here. Okay.
No. I'm not suggesting that this needs to change. Okay.
Okay, good.
I'm saying to be successful at the highest levels of wave defense, whether that be the larger ones,
you need to
or
survive
all the
longer.
way to wave 10 of them. You have to survive.
Yeah.
You have to have more ships survive to the end.
Agree.
Because you are going to be restricted. You're going to be restricted by that 5-second window.
Not only that, I want to point out here the quantities of hostiles that increase as you go on. All right. If you look into the graphics room here real quick, guys, at the last chart that I put up from Jules, take a look at the number of hostiles that show up in Wave 1, for example, Bubba Joe. We are at 27 total hostiles. All right. 21 plus 6, 27 total hostiles that show up in wave number 1, okay? If we go all the way down here to wave number 9, not only are these things significantly more powerful, but we got 4, we got 14, now we're at 20, 26, 28, 33, and not only that, are they significantly more powerful. 33 more hostiles. So you look at the original 26, Bubba Joe, you say, okay, well, 26 to 33, it's only a span of 7 hostiles. But those 7 hostiles, they are overwhelming. And you're exactly right, Bubba Joe. By the time you get to wave 9, if you're down a ship or 2 ships, it's not 26 or 27 hostiles with 10 ships. Not a big deal. Now you come in, you got to do 33 hostiles with 4 ships. It's a much bigger deal. You are exactly right. The key is surviving longer, which is why target selection, I think, has a lot to do with this. Now, let me give you another little bit of a hint that we worked on last night. Let's talk about boosting. They were very careful to tell us, Bubba Joe, that you were going to have to strategically boost before you entered the system. However, the way that the system works, crazy enough, I have to hit the button. I have to hit the button, Bubba Joe. The way that the mechanic works is exactly what they told us. Crazy! It's exactly what they told us. In that you are not charged the ciphers to enter the system. And once you're in the system, you can leave without being charged. We checked the ciphers going in, going out. No, Hammer, that's not a fix. That's what they said was going to happen. We didn't believe it. Even when you guys saw it in the game, they were like, oh, well, you got to spend the ciphers even to get into it because of the UI that we're used to seeing. But it didn't charge your account the ciphers. So here's what we did. Bubba Joe, once the wave defense starts, can you get a ship in or out?
No.
No. But until it starts, you can. So here's what my team did. My team sent their primary ship, their number 1 powered ship. All 5 of us sent it in. Then all 5 of us sent in a Cerritos. And all 5 of us boosted our own ship. Then they sent the Cerritos home, brought back their second most powerful ship that they were going to use. And I, for example, brought in my Titan. I offered max fortification, which my Titan is a high tier, like yours would be, Bubba. I can support 9 ships. Crazy how that works. So I flew my Titan in, did a max fortification, which powered every other ship in the system. Then I took Titan home and brought back my second ship, meaning that my second ship was the only one in the system that didn't have a boost. We paid no extra ciphers, and then we clicked start. And because of most people's Cerritos and my Titan, we had 12 minutes of boost, Bubba Joe. It made a difference. We were able to survive longer. We still got overwhelmed with quantity at the end. All right, which is absolutely where target selection is going to come into play, and crew is going to come into play. Crew is so important. Wham sent me a message, Bubba Joe. He was like, dude, I don't know about your crew. He's like, I really think you got to be looking at Janeway here. He was like, Janeway is making all the difference for me. And I'll tell you, I ran one without Janeway. Then I ran one with Janeway. I was blown away at the difference. He's absolutely right. With these hostiles, Janeway is probably a very, very, very important officer for you guys to consider here. Janeway with either single-sided synergy, and crazy enough, I ran double synergy, Bubba Joe, because I wanted Hugh on a different ship. So crew is absolutely imperative. Now, here's another thing that we observed. Speed. Let's talk about speed, Bubba Joe. For players like you and me, Captain Bull, who was playing last night, I think for players with really high crews, speed is a good thing. For lower level players, no. Nope. Can't run speed. You need endurance. Okay? You need endurance. You have to survive. You need defense. Okay? You need isolytic, cascade. That's exactly right. You need classic survivability. Pike Moreau. Now, I'm not suggesting Pike Moreau for this because you also want offensive capabilities as well, which is why I'm talking about isolytic. Janeway is a great example of an offensive and a defensive officer who is very, very good. Okay? Now, granted, Commander Taylor says 0% ISO damage with Janeway is still 0%. Nope. Incorrect. Janeway herself will provide isolytic. Now, first of all, why do you have 0% isolytic? You have no artifacts? Like none? Zero? That's a participation thing. Okay, because there's been plenty of time to earn some isolytic. Okay, some. You can get some. Okay, you can get some. Might not be a whole lot, but remember, Janeway is cascade. Janeway is cascade, meaning she's multiplicative and additive. So even if you're at 0%, Commander Taylor, then Janeway is going to come in, add 10%, and then multiply it by the cascade effect. So you're still going to get some. If you have no artifacts whatsoever, Janeway still will provide you some. Okay? So that is something. Now, DOA says I've been running 5 with Enterprise Data and Lorca. Now, that's not a bad crew. I like that. You got Cascade from Data. You got Lorca for hull breach. I like it. You got 5 for the mitigation. That's okay. I think, DOA, that's a solid crew. I don't think it's the best crew but if you've got Janeway, right? Janeway is a very powerful officer for this. And if we take a look towards this coming weekend, Bubba Joe, which we're going to have to take a break here in just a second. If we take a look towards this coming weekend, I now wonder if Riker's usability in my book just kind of went up. I told you at the beginning that I didn't know if I really felt like he was a must-have officer. You know, you and I talked about that on the first day. Like, he looks good, he looks solid, but I don't know if he is, gotta have him. I kind of now might be changing my tune on this a little bit. I think that he is going to be a very viable captain for wave defense. Bubba Joe, we got about 4 minutes. Tell me about what you think now that we've played it for a day. How do you think Enterprise E Riker fits into this gameplay?
Again, I think if you have
you're not a big fan of the speed.
Ships,
yeah.
If you have too few ships, you're not going to win those final rounds anyway. And if you have enough ships, you would rather have somebody who is better in terms of either mitigation or punching up.
Okay.
So I don't. I mean, is he going to be useful? Sure, he might. It might make a difference occasionally, 1 time out of 3 or something. But we're talking about trying to kill a cluster of 15 hostiles. Impulse speed isn't going to matter at all for that.
That's true.
Impulse speed might matter if you have lost a guy and you're trying to get
across the system. Yeah.
Right. That's the only, but then you're already losing people and you're already in trouble, right? So I don't see that as a super viable thing. What I do see as a super viable option is killing more hostiles faster.
Yeah.
And how would you do that, DJ?
Killing more hostiles faster would be, okay, I don't know where you're driving here, but maybe you are. Are you referring to the tiering of the Borg cube?
I am referring to tiering of the board cube.
The board cube definitely has a play here. Okay. Now, I know that people said that they were unimpressed with the cube last month, and I understand why people said that. I also came out and said, hey, the cube is not just what we see here. It was kind of like the Discovery when it first came out. There's going to be a utility for it. And here we are, all right? And here it is. All right. Imagine, Bubba Joe, even if now, here's the thing. If your cube is tier 3, tier 4, tier 5, I don't think it belongs in there yet. Okay. I think it needs to be on par with what you think you can do. All right. For example, if I had a tier 12 cube, I would take it, I think. Yeah. Bubba, if you had a tier 15 cube, you would take it. All right. If I had a tier 5 cube, I'm not taking it. Why? Yes, it can kill the miners, but then it's going to die too fast against the normal hostiles. So I'm still down ships. So in my case, because I need that longevity, that's what Bubba's talking about. We need the ships to survive.
Correct.
Then the cube is not the right way here early.
I think we need to take, and I don't have the data, and maybe Jules does. I haven't looked at what he has. But what you need to look at is how many of these hostiles can I kill with the beam? Can I kill through wave 5 or 6? Then maybe that's worth something to you, right? Because then you're still going to be able to kill the transports that come in, right? If you cannot kill more than half the waves of hostiles with the beam, then I wouldn't take it because you're not getting the extra kill. You're not getting that extra benefit of having that extra ability to kill someone outside of that 5-second window.
Now, Rhino, I'm not saying that everybody should have a tier 15 cube. I'm saying that because that's a G6 tier. That's what Bubba Joe could have.
I could not.
Well, my point is, if the cube is on par, is up to your level of capacity, then it becomes very viable. For people who have spent on that and have gotten it to the point where they're topping out based on their faction ships, it is a viable ship to use. For those of us who are not there, then I don't think that it's the right spot to use right now. Now, I also see this chat, and it's very fair, which we've got to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to get more into it. I see people saying, well, everything you're talking about, surviving till round 7, round 8, round 9, this is all whale stuff. What about the 30 through 35? I am going to give you a clear-cut communication from Scopely Live Ops on the other side of this break, and crazy enough, it makes a little bit of sense to me. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it, we're going to dissect it, and we're going to give you the tools necessary to try to get an extra wave. Divine, you say 30 to 35 pair up with bigs. That is actually not really the way I would suggest this. I know last night we were talking a little bit about riding whale tail, and you can, all right?
Nor the ways that the bigs want to do these.
That's exactly right. The bigs, we just talked about it. Bubba, what's your problem? People are dying before round 8, right?
Correct.
If you want to beat this thing, you've got to have a team of bigs to carry you through 10. All right? So they are not wanting people, in this case, riding the whale tail. So what is it that you can do? And I got to be honest with you.
Or more correctly, let me put this a little bit more differently, and I know you're trying to get to a break.
Yeah, I got 20 seconds.
An individual whale could carry an entire armada. Okay?
Yeah.
An individual whale cannot carry 4 lower level players through a wave defense, and it's going to frustrate them in trying to do so. Okay. So if you had 4 whales and you got one that's coming in that's lower level, maybe that works for everyone. But it's going to have to be like, if you're trying to get to that level, that tier 10, it's not that one whale can carry you. You're going to have multiple people try to do that. And then if you don't win, they're going to be frustrated because we invested this time or whatever. So
yeah.
I think that there's going to be some group dynamics that are going to have to develop, but it's not going to be your singular whale carrying everyone through an armada like it does for armadas.
I agree with that. And on the other side of the break, we're going to talk a little bit about managing expectations, because I was able to communicate and I was able to get a little bit of an idea, Bubba Joe, about where the 30 to 35 should be looking as far as their objectives. You remember when Tiger came on the show and he was talking about, what he expected a level 40 to do in solo armadas, for example? Well, we've got that. And I'm going to give it to you on the other side of the break. It might not make you super happy, but I'm going to tell you why I'm actually okay with this. And what tools have been provided here on day one that can get you there. My name is UltimatDJz. This is Talking Trek Live, Star Trek Fleet Command's official podcast. We are going to take a very quick break, and when we return, so much more on the December arc and wave defense right after these words. Thank you, guys. Stick around. Talking Trek is brought to you in part by MN Toy Posse. MN Toy Posse is the biggest and best Facebook page all about toys. Meet other like-minded individuals that share in your same interest, have hard-to-find rare toys, or know someone looking for your special piece of nostalgia. Old toys or new toys, hard-to-find toys, doesn't matter. With MN Toy Posse, you can find it, buy it, or sell it. Visit today at facebook.com/MN Toy Posse. That's facebook.com/MN Toy Posse for the toy collector in all of us. Yo, what's up, Commanders? Great news about PvPtarget.com. You've known for a while that it exists and has some great reference tools regarding PvP banding and common crew loadouts, but they've recently launched brand new tools on the site, including a brand new cargo calculator page as well. This isn't your typical max cargo style calculator, but a brand new, unique tool that identifies the timer until you go over cargo. The game timer might tell you how long to zero the node, but how long until your miner is at risk? You can find out now by using the brand spanking new cargo calculator at PvPtarget.com.
This program is made possible in part by a grant from Fizzlers, the licorice candy that's 50% Alka-Seltzer.
Daryl Hall is suing John Oates, and now he's reworking all their classic hits on a new compilation, Hold the Oates.
Oh, here I come. Watch out, Oates, I'll restrain you up. Oh, here I come. I'm a band cheater.
Could this mysterious lawsuit just be something superficial?
You're an ugly squirrel, and I'm the star, 'cause everyone loves my face anyway. I'm sick of giving you half my money. I'm sick of giving you half my money.
The blonde-haired frontman won't let his former partner out of his sight.
I've hired spies, they're watching you. They think you're such a stooge.
Hold the Oates, the latest solo album from Daryl Hall.
I don't want you here, and this might be hard to report, but I'll see your butt in the courts. The music's in my name, oh yeah. It's the most exhausting time of the year, with the kids and friends yelling, the house always smelling. You've had it up to here. It's the most exhausting time of the year, the most tiring season of all, with the Christmas card buying and present supplying drives me off the wall. The most tiring season of all. You'll be hosting the in-laws, dressing like Santa Claus and spending more cash than you have. There'll be too many parties, bad times with old parties and traffic when you're stuck in snow.
Wait, you guys don't have audio on Discord? Is that true? You guys hear me on
I can
Discord?
hear you.
Okay. All right, that's weird. I'm going to do something a little bit different. All right. Perhaps I could give away 5 battle passes. Okay. Trader, that's what we normally do, right? We normally give away the 5 battle passes. Cool. Okay. Great. Except, and actually, I got to be honest with you. This, I believe, is a risk-reward kind of scenario, Bubba Joe, because I was thinking about trading in the 5 and offering one player the $100 Wave Defense Battle Pass, which essentially would provide Luther Sloan to you at no charge to you. Now, Bubba Joe and I are going to talk about Luther Sloan here. He is not as much a fan as I am.
I really want to talk about good things.
I know. He's not a fan as much as I am. So here, let me just ask real quick. Trader, you can kind of gauge the chat. Why don't you engage the chat a little bit and see what they think? I am willing to go, and we're going to set this up on like a 24, 48-hour timer so that they can go into the Spam It room. Everybody all across the country and the world will be able to register and spam it, and then we'll do the off-air drawing. We could do 5 $20 battle passes, or I could do one $100 Wave Defense battle pass so that they can get Luther Sloan. The chat is kind of looks like most people actually want to do the 5 trader, but I'm going to let you decide, okay? You decide, and you engage with the chat and see what you decide that you want to do. Major Samo says, just do both. Both is good. Well, we could. I mean, that's a possibility depending on our progress here on the Twitch platform throughout the month, which I want to say thank you guys very much for everything that we've done. So Griffin says, why give away 5 battle passes when 48 will do? Yeah, still paying for that. So no on that one for this month. But anyway, that's what we've got going on, and I'm going to allow you guys to enter in the Spam It room, and then we'll draw either 1 or 5 winners, depending on what trader decides to do. Bubba Joe, speaking of Luther Sloan, I want to get to that in a moment, but the first thing that I want to do is talk about the tools, all right, and talk about the communication from Scopely. Because what we're talking about here, Bubba, is on day 1, we're seeing some progress. Actually, I would say for many players, meaningful progress, okay? However, there is a frustrated segment of player. I see it. I acknowledge it. I hear you. I understand. I'm with you. And I have already started preparing a write-up for Scopely. Listen, Bubba Joe will tell you, as much as we fuss at each other from time to time, does not matter what I personally feel. I will always represent that of the player, okay? So even though I feel like this is a really cool, progressive, challenging, long-term piece of gameplay, I understand that it might be frustrating to not get through level 1. Right? To just want to, like I said at the beginning, Bubba, it would be nice for players just to say, hey, listen, okay, I don't expect to beat it. I don't expect to go to level 10, but, you know, hey, round 3, 4, 5, like, that would make me feel okay. That would make me feel like I'm doing the right things. That would let me feel like I'm moving in the right direction, right? So Divine says, I think Wave 1 and Wave 2 need a little bit of a tweak. I actually did suggest that, all right? I did suggest that a little bit, just a little bit of a tweak there at the first 2 waves. I also, in the event, Bubba Joe, because I will tell you, and you will believe me, the ability to go in and redesign these hostels is going to be more challenging than it could be to potentially tweak other areas of this feature. For example, maybe the credits payout. Okay, it would be easier to tweak on the credits payout than it would necessarily to go in and redesign these hostels. So yeah, Vic, he says, throw me a freaking bone here. That's kind of what I'm trying to think of doing. Because at its core, Bubba Joe, if a level 30 or level 35 only gets through wave 1, then their progression in the store is going to be painstakingly slow. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be painstakingly slow, like slower than I think was actually intended. So that led me to talk about the actual intent. And I got a conversation. And crazy enough, I think they gave me some interesting insights. So Bubba Joe, allow me to kind of first, and I bet you buy into this. I bet you believe this because I do. When I asked Scopely about the strength of hostiles regarding the level, like that's what everybody's saying. Man, these things are chunky, right? These things are chunky. They are, okay? They are. They don't match the levels in the game with other corresponding hostiles, and that was obviously and clearly at this point pretty much intended, okay? It was not, meant to match everything else in the game. The 30s are like 50s, like Medic says. Not quite, but yeah, I mean, they're definitely chunky, okay? Now, when I asked them about this was actually 100% their intent. Medic says, but why? Great question, Medic. And I'm going to take you back to freebooters. Bubba Joe, when freebooters came out, do you remember Scopely saying they wanted them to be challenging, but they were a little bit squishy? They were a little bit softer because they, in our opinion, Bubba, failed to take into account the overall player experience, the overall amount of research, the overall amount of capability. I've said that before. They underestimate the capability of players in this game. True or false? True. Okay? So then, solo armadas, let me rephrase, G5 armadas came out. Bubba, also a little bit soft, right? Blue came out, Jules came out, you came out and said, listen, we should not be able to solo these things, right?
Correct.
So Scopely said, okay, now we're looking at this. We're trying to be a little bit conservative. We're not trying to go crazy. We don't want to make it crazy. But guys, for the love of Pete, we are trying to present you a challenge. We are trying to build content for you that is not a meaningless grind. In other words, they do not want us to go out with a predetermined crew and click 25 hostiles. Now, Peter says this is more grind. Totally disagree. In this particular case, totally disagree. Okay? This is not grind. This is engaging. This is not boring grind. This is almost, dare I say, exciting. It's fun. Like, this is the most fun feature that has probably been introduced in the game, I'm going to say, since Formation Armadas, and Bubba Joe's going to tell me to sit down and be wrong, and he's going to go even farther back. Okay? This is gameplay. This is co-op. Real, true co-op. It is the most fascinating piece of gameplay that's been introduced in this game, maybe in forever. Now, talking about the challenge, I totally get it. I understand. And by the way, we're talking about the tools. We're talking about the tools, and we're talking about these hostiles. As a matter of fact, the conversation that I had with them today, this is, I mean, I'm just telling you, I don't know what they're going to do yet, but they came back and said, okay, we are seeing that 30 through 50 are having a little bit harder time than what but also scaling content for all the way through Op 70, challenging. It's really hard to make something that big players can play with, that little players can also play with, and maybe we missed it a little bit at the very, very beginning. But the last thing we wanted to do was to be too conservative, because, Bubba, that's happening. That happens in almost every other feature. As a matter of fact, we've told them, be bold. We've told them, stop playing it safe. It's boring. So they said, okay, the gloves off. We're going to get a little bit punchy here. Okay? Now, granted, this is challenging. And for G3, let me just talk to you, G3, for a few minutes. I get it. I'm on your side. And we had a conversation about the viability of adjusting the power of these hostiles. I think that is going to be unlikely. Just being straight up honest with you, okay? I think it's going to unlikely. What I have encouraged them to do for you guys is to increase significantly the payouts for the first couple of waves, because I don't want to stall your progress. Okay? I don't want to stall your progress. I don't want it to be frustratingly slow for you guys. So even if you get... Now, do I think you should get the handout? No. I do think that you should be able to punch through a wave or two. Medic says, okay, milestones, yeah, hey, forget about the event for a second. We're 100% going to handle that, okay? 100% going to handle that as far, you're talking about the Battle Pass event? Yeah, already discussing an adjustment of points, a compensation chest, and reducing milestones for future runs, okay? Totally get it, totally 100%. Listen, right now, what you've got, all the extra directives from the upfront, it's probably going to be okay, but definitely moving forward, not feasible, right? Totally agreed. Not feasible. We are already on that. That is a non-starter. It's going to get done, okay? Don't stress about that. That will be fixed, okay? That'll be fixed. No ifs, ands, or buts. But what I want is I want your experience to not be punishingly slow. I don't want it to be punishingly slow. Now, Medic, that's what I was just saying, so please tune in here, okay? Fixing the hostile strength is going to be a lot harder than making other adjustments, okay? And so I don't really truthfully expect that to happen. But there are other tools, okay? So let's talk about those tools, Bubba Joe. First of all, let me set the preface that we increase these payouts for you guys. Like, as in rounds 1, 2, and 3, maybe get quadrupled, quintupled, maybe tripled, something like that. Obviously a good balance there, but I want you guys to get good credits, okay? Why do I want you to have good credits? I want you to have good possibilities at credits so that you can come into the Section 31 store and actually make progress with something. Now, Bubba Joe, this is where I want to hone in on for this segment. You said with hazards that the biggest frustration that you had was that there were no tools that came out that were able to be acquired, even paid for. There were no tools that gave you defense, correct? Where did Bubba go?
My frustration with hazards was that the only thing you could go do was
spend money
for access to resistance. You couldn't increase your whole health or be strategic with crews or do something different. The only thing you could do was pay for advancement to get to that hazard research. Like, there was nothing strategic about it.
Fair enough.
All they gave you was you can either engage with hazard research or ignore it.
Yeah. Well, this one, I feel like they did a little bit differently, okay? Now, granted, still on day one, is anybody going to be there? No, not without spending, granted, okay? But let's talk about the tools that are present in the game on day one. And it's not just one or two tools, but it's several tools that are present in the game. And before I do that, I want to tell you, Ops 30 through 35, your intended normal rate of acquisition would be completion of Wave 3. That's what was designed. That's what they had in mind for you. And this is why I talk about managing expectations, right, Bubba Joe? I mean, if you are struggling to hit Wave 10 as a G6 player, and I'm struggling to finish Wave 7 or 8 as a late G5 player, where should G3 be? Probably about Wave 2, 3. Okay, now I mistakenly said last night Wave 4 or 5. That's what I would have designed. Okay, now here's the thing.
And I think that the events suggested that's where they should be.
Agreed. Sure. Okay. And by the way, some players are doing it. Don't laugh, Andy. Don't laugh. Okay, Dark Helmet. What G3 could possibly hit Wave 3? I don't know. Ask them. They're in the chat. Okay. Now, Medic, and look, even Medic says 3 to 4, maybe 5. Okay. Now, me personally, like I said, I would have expected 4 to 5. Okay. Queen of the Storm says, golly, DJ, I would like to just be able to pass G1. Well, the first wave. All right. Look, Dave says, we made it to Wave 4. I'm Ops 34. Great. There are people doing it, but not everybody can. Now, Medic, hang on a second. Medic, you're fussing at me. But you're saying that you reached Wave 5. You're already beyond what they thought you should be doing. I'm only getting to Wave 7. I'm only getting to 7 and 8. Okay? So, manage the expectations. They designed it as and here's the key, normal, routine, established gameplay. Is that what we are on day one? Anybody?
No.
No. We are not there on day one. Just like most features. Let's go back to Dominion, Jem'Hadar Solo Armadas. It takes a minute to ramp up. Now, for players like Bubba Joe, it never did. But it does take a minute to get there. Okay? You've got to invest your time. You got to start grinding out the rep. You got to get the favors. Let's talk about favors. Bubba Joe, every single one of these favors complements wave defense. Except for one, and it's a convenience thing, okay? Medic says, I'll be back later to bust on you. Bring it, baby! All right, let's talk about some of these favors. Bubba Joe, now, these favors, if I'm not mistaken, they do vary by ops. For example, I don't think you guys are seeing the same one that I see. Let's take a look at Operation Hephaestus. All right, is it the same for everybody? Like mine, Bubba Joe, level 5, mine's 1,000% at level 5. Is that the same for everybody? I have to imagine that scales by ops. No, that's the same for everybody? Holy smokes, can you imagine? Can you imagine, guys, what 1,000% hull health does for an ops 35? What? Guys. Tools. Okay? Tools. Let's take a look at Operation Ephemeris, increasing critical hit chance by up to 20% in a wave defense. Increasing mitigation. By the way, I like to make fun of mitigation, Bubba Joe. I do. I love making fun of mitigation in the game today because it's stupid. Doesn't matter for most of us, except it does now. Okay? Except it does now. Let's take a look at the mitigation that these hostiles are throwing at us. Okay? How much mitigation did I get? Well, I did okay. Probably still around 60, 65%. I'd like to max that out, Bubba. I surely would like to max that out. Let's take a look at...
You don't think you were maxing that out in your first run with your Talios? I guarantee you were.
You think I was? Okay, good. I'm glad I am. Glad I am. Well,
do you remember what crew I had you go with?
The speed thing. Did you have me go with speed?
No, on your Talios.
No, on the Talios, we did Janeway, full synergy.
No, you did not.
Oh, I did. I changed it up. I was using your crew, and I used Wham's crew. All right? I was learning. I was changing things up. Now, Retro Hunter says, can you imagine what 1,000% hull health does for a G6 player? He says nothing. Bubba Joe, is that true? It's less than it would be for me, admittedly. But is it nothing? 1,000% hull health? Is that nothing?
It's not nothing, but it's not, I'm not breaking my neck to try and get that.
Okay, fair enough. Let's talk about some of these others then. Let's keep going. Wrong one. Here, let's take a look at a couple of these others then. What about critical hit damage?
So I think
isolytic damage. That's a good one. Isolytic damage. Don't me, Bubba Joe. We didn't pay for hundreds of percent. Don't me.
There's only so I think that the favors have usefulness for a large number of players.
There you go.
There's only one that interests me.
The Armadas, which has nothing to do with wave defense. All right, fair enough. Okay.
No.
Oh, impulse speed. No, you said you didn't want
there
impulse
you go.
speed. You just said.
I'll take passive impulse speed, but I'm not sacrificing my crew
fair enough.
to get impulse speed.
Okay, fair enough. All right. There are favors here that every single one of these favors, except for Hermes, improves your capability in wave defense. Is that our only direct wave defense tool? Because I have great news for you. Great news for you. Bubba Joe, please identify the second wave defense specific tool.
Sloan.
Oh, okay. Not where I was going, but okay. We'll go with that. Let's take a look at Fleet Commander Sloan. Okay? Take a look at Fleet Commander Sloan. Definitely one that we can talk about. That wasn't where I was leading, but we'll go with that.
Hang on. Where are you going? Because I don't want to talk about Sloan because he's going to make me angry, and I want this to be a happy podcast.
We are going to talk about Sloan today. All right? We are going to talk about Sloan. I don't think that he's bad. He might be bad for you, or he might. Well, I know why Bubba doesn't want him. But I know why Bubba's not happy with him because Bubba Where's my button for that? Where's the stinking button? Oh, here it is.
So,
Hold on.
DJ.
Here's what Bubba wants.
No. DJ.
What?
DJ. This month, I'm going to sell you a coupon. Okay. This coupon is good for every single box of mac and cheese that we're going to release from now through eternity.
I love mac and cheese.
Great. You this coupon is for you. All you got to do is spend $100, but you're going to save thousands upon thousands of dollars.
Sounds like what the high school cheerleading squad sells every single year. That's seriously, it sounds exactly like what they sell every single year. Hey, buy this card for $25, but it'll give you a free ice cream cone when you go to Dairy Queen. How many of y'all say,
okay.
Y'all buy those things? I buy them.
Now,
I buy them.
Now, DJ.
Now,
next month, you know what I'm going to release?
What?
Cheese and mac.
Oh,
coupon's no good for cheese and mac.
Oh, stop it. What is the correlation? What point are you trying to make here with Sloan?
They have released multiple things to acquiring skill points, both rare and uncommon, and it doesn't apply to this. So they sold you solutions to future problems and then said, oh, yeah, we're not going to let you use those for this one.
I'm not offended by it.
I am very offended by it.
I know you are. My opinion is different than yours, in all fairness. My opinion is they sold you the solution for the problem that they had already created. When does Scopely sell you solutions for future problems in this game? I mean, come on, Bubba. They always start with the problem. All right? They always start with the problem, then sell you the fix for that problem. This is Scopely we're talking about. They don't plan in advance.
When we're talking about daily redemptions for these resources, we're talking about not fixing the now problem. We're talking about fixing a forever problem. And if they didn't like that, though, that just stinks to be them. They got to pony up and they got to put his skill points in the same refinery as the rest of them.
In my personal opinion,
this is bullcrap.
And that is fair.
I don't
Look,
care
people agree with
if
you.
Sloan gives me 85 trillion% efficiency on all my G6 buildings and 85 quadrillion extra percent power. He's garbage until they fix the skill points.
But, and by the way, people agree with you.
Garbage.
People agree with you. Okay? I'm not dismissing you. People are agreeing with you. My personal opinion is it is total free-to-play acquisition through engagement with this feature. Grind it out, and no dollars are necessary, and that's why I'm okay with it. That it gets a pass for me on that. This
he is a fleet commander that is taking away the acquisition of his skill points.
I bet you that for free-to-play and low-spend players, they have this fleet commander faster than they have Locutus, faster than they have 7 of 9, faster than they have Janeway, any of them. Maybe even their second one. Okay, and by the way, they're going to ground this guy out depending on your progression. I'm not necessarily speaking to Medic, but you could grind this guy out in as little as 100 days. 3 months for a fleet commander, absolutely free, who will help with this. Okay, Dragon Keeper says he's going to be slow. No, he's not. No, he's not, because you got Battle Pass to help you out with it. All right. Now, certainly says I was able to get Locutus in 3 months free to play. Really? Through what? I guess that was through Incursions. You must have done really well with Incursions, because I don't remember it being that fast. Oh, event stores. Event stores.
Board store.
Yeah.
An event store.
Yeah. Either way. Okay. This is transparent, free to play, grindable sourcing that at this point can't be bought. I'm not offended by it. Okay, I understand there's a different perspective on it, but I mean, I'm cool. I'm
not talking about the acquisition of him. The acquisition of him, that's fine.
But
I'm talking about
the skill
his
points,
skill points,
which are also able to
Is
be
it not fast enough for you?
No, it's not.
If it's a slow grind and you just don't like that?
Look at this, Bubba. By the way, there's no cooldown on the skill points. We discovered that last night. So, Bubba, if you earned, let's say that you earned, I don't know, you said you went to level 8, okay? Let's say that you earned 2,800 faction credits. You could spend all 2,800 of those faction credits every single day on skill points. There's no cooldown, no maximum, nothing. You could spend as much as you want in there. I would argue it's going to be faster than Titan if you put all your eggs in that basket.
If there is a single rare skill point in his tree, I'm going to lose it.
Okay, that is possibly fair. We don't know. That might be fair. Okay, we don't know at this point. All right. As a matter of fact, some people were asking just a few moments ago for if we knew the rep breakouts. We do have that. Bubba Joe, I'll throw this in the graphics room for you guys. We do have the rep banding on the new reputation for Section 31. There's only 5 bands. So you've got Asset up to 5,000, then Analyst to 15,000, Infiltrator to 35,000, Agent to 80, Handler to 150, and then Spy Master. So I guess 6. No, that's 7. 6. There are 6 brackets there. Spy Master at 150 plus. Now, here's the thing. We don't know. Okay, and that is a fair thing to say. We don't know what that looks like next, okay? So we don't know if eventually rare skill points are gonna pop out, okay? That's possible. I don't even know if STFC.space has it yet. Do they have him on there, Bubba?
Let me look.
I'm looking now as well. STFC.space, and where do they show up? Do they show up in officers? Or do they show up in research? I don't even know.
Let's see.
No, it's not officers. It must be research. Maybe. Fleet, command. No. Where the heck are they? Are they even on the website? Not going to be under forbidden tech. Huh. Wait, go back to officers and do the fleet. Still don't see it.
There's no fleet commander option.
There's no fleet commander. They're not on the website. Good God. You know, I swear. Scopes. Come on. Never mind. They're here, Bubba Joe. All right. But Sloan is not on the website yet. It's under research. Go to research, and they actually have a commander tab.
Yep.
Yeah. So it is there. But Sloan is not loaded yet, so we don't know. In fairness, Bubba, I will be willing to table this conversation until we know a little bit more about that, okay? Fair, can we do that? You said you wanted to be happy today anyway, so let's table that. However, Sloan, a tool, okay? And real quick, here are the reputation banding. If you proceed through this reputation, please obviously let Jules and myself or Blue Mandalorian know so that we can get the chart updated. Let's talk very quickly, Bubba Joe, about what Fleet Commander Sloan does. All right, I just want to spend a couple of minutes on this in case somebody's looking at possibly spending that $100 or if they want to focus their credits on building him up. He's got 3 legs. He's got Tactician. He's got Mechanic and Escapist. If we look at Tactician, we're seeing piercing stats. We're seeing max cargo, which is an always on. Well, fine, whatever. Isolytic damage. Not going to be fussy about that. As a matter of fact, when you max that thing out, it's slow. It's only 10%, but it's isolytic damage. Okay, and that is affected by cascade, so that's a good thing. It means that these numbers are not just basic raw numbers; they're eventually going to get pumped up. Okay, so we've got that. We've also got a choose one in crit chance versus crit chance in armadas, crit chance versus not armada hostiles, and crit chance in group armadas, all right? Then we come through, reduces the number of rounds needed to charge weapons while station raiding. Boy pawn. Okay? That's another conversation for a different day. Anyway, what are you telling me, Bubba Joe?
What?
Oh, hey, we know for sure Luther Sloan doesn't use rare skill points. Look at that. Thank you, Nissa. I'm going to throw out in the graphics room. And there, Bubba, look at there. Look at you there. Does that make you happier now? Can you be less grumpy now?
No. I'm maybe less grumpy, but I'm not happy.
Fair enough. I'll take it. He's happier, okay? A lot of this stuff in here, guys, is going to have to do with I don't see the wave defense stuff. I thought he had wave defense stuff. Is that in mechanic? Let's take, oh, nope, there's forbidden technology efficiency, which I am not unhappy with. Is there not wave defense stuff in here? They said there was going to be, wasn't there?
I thought there was.
I thought there was too. I haven't seen it yet. Still looking. Still looking. Still looking. Is it under escapist? No. That because escapist was warp speed, reputation. Bubba Joe,
Maybe I'm incorrect, but I was certain there was.
I don't see anything for wave defense. Well, I'm going to have to remove him from my wave defense tools, which means I was originally right, Bubba Joe. There are 2 tools, and you got it wrong.
Go ahead.
You are wrong. Just sit down and be wrong. You are wrong.
All right, it's not Luther Sloan. Fair enough. All right, but Luther Sloan, that's a path, okay? The secondary tool that I was referring to, Bubba Joe, is indeed the facade, okay? The facade is what I was referring to. Now, here's the thing. Nobody, I hear you. I already hear you. Bubba Joe, wave defense damage bonus. Even if you got this thing to, say, level 40, it's a 300% damage boost. Is that cool?
Nope.
No, it's not. Agreed. Which is why. No womp womps. No womp womps. Aww. Hey. I agree with you. Mimi says it's better than nothing. Okay, maybe. Arguable. As a matter of fact, conversation made today, Bubba Joe. Hey, DJ, did you actually figure out the math on the wave defense damage bonus from the facade? Sorry, game design. No, I could not, because when you can't see anything, no delta, no change in any way, shape, or form, it's really hard to do the math on it. Well, wait a second. We thought that was going to be, let me rephrase. I don't want to go into the entire conversation. Long story short, they are already investigating a buff. Okay? They're already investigating a buff because I believe that these numbers were, Bubba, I have noticed this, and I know that this is something you're going to be maybe proud of for them, even though they haven't hit it on the head yet. You were an advocate for years about them using net values. Even with these exocomps, they're trying to give people net effect values. You remember that? Like, you've been a big advocate of that. They're really trying to do that. Okay? They're trying to do that. In the patch notes, they talked about that exocomp that is going to be net effective, like 40% or something like that, except it's not. I mean, it could be. It could be. But that's not what the exocomp is, right? The exocomp is actually significantly higher than that. As a matter of fact, I believe I actually have the chart. Oh gosh, that's a big chart. Okay, for example, by the way, I have no idea where this actually came from. I think somebody did some digging. This one is for Armada buff, all right? And I have more. It's not in a super easy way to present. But Bubba Joe, they've changed the values at almost every single ops level so that it is a quote-unquote net effect of roughly 40 to 50%. Now, McShisman says we need to know our overall heads up. Scopely is actually, crazy enough, they're trying to give you that. They haven't done it the best way yet, I don't think, Bubba Joe. All right? But they are trying to do that in a net effect kind of way. All right? That being said, when they say roughly 40% effectiveness from the Armada damage boost, we're talking that an Ops 50, for example, is going to get an 1,758% damage boost. That is significant. Do we agree? No. I don't know. All right. Dragon Keeper says no. I disagree. All right. I honestly disagree. If I have 4,000 or 5,000% total damage buff, giving me another 1,800% is noticeable. It's very noticeable, guys. Very noticeable. Okay? And, Unileska. People who say 1,800% is not noticeable, you're wrong. Okay? You're just wrong. Dragon Keeper, baloney. You do not have 10,000% damage bonus. Bubba Joe only has 6.
No one has 10,000. No one has 10,000.
Bubba Joe only has 6,000. So nice try, silly goose. You're a silly goose. All right? This is significant. So, Bubba Joe, I have been told that these numbers are inadvertently low. They wanted the facade to be a meaningful. It wasn't supposed to be 50% Forgotten Shields. It said up to 50%, and they told me that it was really supposed to be around 40%. Anyway, long story short, the facade, Bubba Joe, they're working on a buff. On a buff, okay? So, and by the way, specifically, they're not buffing everything else. Specifically, they're buffing wave defense damage output.
Well,
Okay?
I think that's the thing that's
necessary,
problematic for that. Yeah,
I agree. It needs to be more, and they agree. That buff is coming. It'll be coming soon. Okay? So this is an example of a feature where I think they did come out. They were a little bit aggressive, which we needed them to be. Listen, we had someone in the chat last night was like, man, whoever asked for a feature that is too difficult to complete? I don't know. How about 95% of the community for like the last 3 years? A lot of people are sick of soft, spongy targets that are just to-do items. I mean, Trader hasn't played the game in almost a year and has said that if this game provided her meaningful and fun, interactive, and challenging gameplay, that she could be enticed to come back. My God, Trader, this is the closest they've ever come. Now, I don't know if you go come back. I'm not trying to strong arm you. I'm just saying they are adapting. This, Bubba Joe, was not a conservative content launch. If anything, it was very challenging up front to incentivize people moving through the content to make themselves better. I'm here to tell you these favors for everybody besides Bubba Joe are going to have a massive, massive impact. The facade is going to have a decent, hopefully a better than decent impact when they get done doing the adjustment on this thing. All right? And by the way, everywhere it matters, I agree with you. My hope is that they also kind of come in here and maybe consider buffing the first couple of waves as far as reward payout. Again, I don't think that they're going to adjust the hostiles. Let me be clear. I'm telling you guys, I do not expect the strength of hostile to be affected. Okay? Can I be clear? Bubba Joe, I don't know how to be any more clear about this. I do not expect, based on the conversations I've had today, I do not expect, they could surprise me, but I do not expect the strength of hostiles to be adjusted. What I can see them doing is adjusting the rewards, adjusting the progression, adjusting the rate of progression through the tools and acquisition of the tools, and improving the tools. Okay? I believe that is what is going to happen. And I think that specifically goes hand in hand with players at the opening levels of this content. Okay? At the opening levels of this content, I see players needing to, in fairness, by the way, and I'm with you, needing to manage expectations a little bit. I would have expected you to get to wave 4 or 5. Agreed. Okay, I'm with you. I don't think that anybody getting to wave 1 was anybody's expectation. I do think that you were supposed to get, they're saying that they would like for you to get to about wave 3 or 4. Okay? If you're a G3 player, that is kind of what they had in mind for you, was around wave 3 or 4. All right? If you were wanting more than that, then just know this is another Jem'Hadar solo mechanic or a Borg solo armada mechanic. You are limited in how far you can go. Do you remember when the Borg solo armadas came out, Bubba Joe? Warp range limited what players could do. Karkin wanted more. Putz wanted more. They couldn't because of warp range. Well, in this particular case, this is almost a Kobayashi Maru style of event. You can go in. You can go all the way to tier 10 if you wanted to. You're probably not, because you're going to die. But you can position yourself to do a little bit better. And, of course, there's crew. There's ships. There's strategy. There's targeting. There's coordination with your team. There is ship selection and target selection. Bubba, this, if I'm summarizing, and I'm going to give you the last 2 minutes here before we got to take our final break, this to me might be the most stimulating piece of gameplay that they've ever put into STFC. Bubba Joe, you get the final thoughts before we take our last break.
So I think that this is a feature that a lot of players have asked for a long time. Let us work together against a common goal. Let us defend against an army. Let us defend against a target. Let's King of the Hill. This is something that has been asked for a long time. I think that there are some challenges, right? I would love for there to be a way to meet in voice within the game, or a way within the game to really alert players as to what might be happening in a quadrant you can't see, because you can't see the whole system, especially from mobile. And I think that there is a potential that I think right now there might be an issue with people kind of going in and like messing up someone's group. But I think there's a lot more to like about this feature than dislike. The things I pointed out are very, very small nitpicks over the overall success of this feature. It is by far and away the best feature they've come out with this year, and it might be the best feature they've come out with since, and I know people are going to hate this because there's people that hate them, since Armadas. This is something that is challenging and interactive, and you can't just whale your way through it. You've got to work together as a team, and it's cool.
It is.
So this feature's fantastic.
I agree. Chocolate says, I like it. In a couple of days, we're going to have a lot better strategy on this thing, and we need to stop kind of freaking out. And I agree. You know, usually it's Steven's Aaron that's coming in and saying, DJ, it's only day one. Don't freak out. It's only day one. And I get that. Except this time he doesn't have to. Like, I see it day one, and I see the progression, and I see the progress, and I see the way this thing is working. That's right, Divine. It's working on day one. Applause for that. All right? But not only that, we can see the goalposts. And not only that, but we can see the toolbox. We can see the weight room. We can see the practice field. We can see the tools that we can engage with that are going to make us better so that we can get to the end zone. Like this, I don't want to give too much hype, Bubba Joe, but this is how a feature rolls out. Show us the potential. Show us the long form of it, and let us figure out how to get there. I am very much a fan of this. We got to take a very quick break. When we return, more on the Section 31 faction store. Yes, we've got strategy for you on that as well. Don't go anywhere. My name is UltimatDJz. This is Talking Trek Live, Star Trek Fleet Command's official podcast. Please do not go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.
Today's show brought to you in part by the Musgrove Trial Firm in Georgia. Have you suffered personal injury in Georgia? You need a buddy. Give Buddy at the Musgrove Trial Firm a call, 678-226-1994. Visit them online at musgrovetrialfirm.com. Portion of the show brought to you by crazybunch.org. Do you suffer from pixel fatigue? Well, we've got a gummy for that. Surtail has the answers for your health and wellness needs, especially when gaming. A gummy for blue light protection and eye health, an energy gummy, or how about a relaxation gummy to help you chill after Wardod kills all your miners? Surtail is an independent distributor of all the aerial products you'll need to improve your gaming experience. Message Surtail on Discord or go to crazybunch.org.
This program is made possible in part by a grant from Cheap Stick Lip Balm. Cheap Stick costs less because we make it out of pieces of old candles.
What Christmas movie are we watching tonight?
It's Mommy's turn to pick.
Great. Here comes this week's Lifetime special.
Whoa, what are they doing?
Nothing, dear. They're just snuggling.
With their tongues? That's not how we snuggle.
Is this really appropriate?
Oh, stop. I'm sure it'll only be a second.
Not funny.
Plus, they won't show anything crazy.
Mommy, he's hurting her. Call the police. Call the police.
This holiday season, tread lightly with Lifetime around the kiddos. Or you could be looking at a lifetime of therapy.
And now, great moments in presidential history.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Here in this world-renowned hub of innovation, leading tech companies like Anthropic, and I'm going to mispronounce. I'm not going to try. It's better not to try and not mispronounce than try and mispronounce.
all being here. My name is UltimatDJz. This is Talking Trek Live, Star Trek Fleet Command's official podcast. Boom, boom, boom. Welcoming you back from break, whether you're on podcast, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora, Google, YouTube Music, Twitch, YouTube, or anywhere in between. Thank you guys so very, very much. I appreciate you guys all being here. Thank you so very much to the Bubba Joe. The audience just continues to grow. Over 600, no, almost, oh man, we're like 597. Daggone it. 597. We need to push back up to north of the 600 marker there. Appreciate you guys very much. Zero Cool saying, is there a link for that Waves spawn picture? It is in the graphics room over on the Discord. If you head over to the Discord, it is available on our Discord in the graphics room, and I'll throw it back up on your screen right now if you'd like to take a quick peek at it so that you can screenshot that, but it is available in the graphics room on our Discord, where you can find by linking from TalkingTrekSTFC.com, TalkingTrekSTFC.com. I would also like to remind you guys to visit over there on the Discord anyway. Get entered into the Spam It room. Trader, I don't know, are you still around? Did you have an opportunity to poll the masses and discover what kind of prize giveaways you wanted to give away here over the next 48 hours from the Spam It room? Yeah? Yeah, no?
I am kind of sort of around, and no, I have not polled anybody about anything. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Basically, long story short was I was going to give the community a choice, all right? And you being prize master, quartermaster, gatekeeper, key lock person, you get to decide. I was either going to do 5 battle passes or I will do 1 wave defense battle pass so that people can get the Luther Sloan unlock. Now, if you're Bubba Joe, you don't want the Luther Sloan unlock, so maybe you just want to do the 5 battle passes. But
DJ, I was watching the chat when you announced that, and it was overwhelmingly they wanted 5.
They wanted 5 battle passes. Yeah. Better odds
That's
of winning.
what I'm seeing now too.
Better odds of winning, I think. That's what people are at.
Correct.
Listen, like, hey, I'll take the $5 shield pack if I just have a chance to win. There you go. 5 is more than 1. All right, so 5 battle passes. By the way, Bubba, we could take a second to talk about this. I got to be honest with you. I'm slightly mixed on the introduction of a 3rd battle pass. Okay. Let me just ask you very quickly how you feel about that, because, you know, the battle pass has always been kind of like, obviously I see what they're doing, right? They're looking to try to drive more core revenue, like, hey, $20 a month versus $60 a month, as being kind of a basic, you know, this is what we can count on from most players kind of thing. But, you know, I scratched my head at the introduction of the 2nd battle pass, and now I'm looking at the 3rd, and I'm like, okay. Like, is this an okay thing, or should we? I don't know. I'm a little bit torn on it.
I'm not a fan of the price point as far as the sold portion, but I am a fan of additional rewards for locally to this month for the engagement of the new feature.
Right.
And if this is how they have to justify giving out some additional starts to players, then I'm okay with it. I think that from that perspective, but I do not like the price point at all.
You know, I mean, the $100 one, I don't think I'm going to really necessarily. Here's the thing. The $100 one, that's for Luther Sloan, right? Like, that's just it. It's for Luther Sloan. The $20 one, I don't think I'm that upset about it. It's got some decent shards in it. You know, it has some Doctor shards. It has some BLT, which I know some people don't need. It's got some Janeway, but it also has a tremendous number of starts. You know, when we look at this, Bubba, when they sell directives, they never sell this many. We're talking 4,000 ciphers. Okay, that's 40 runs of wave defense for $20. And that doesn't even include what's on the top row. The top row has another 10 starts. So you're talking 50 starts for $20 over and beyond the 15 starts that they're giving and 1 start per day from engagement. I don't know that that's actually inappropriate, to be honest with you. What about that to you doesn't feel like the weight is right there, Bubba Joe?
So if they gave away 15 starts to everyone, what do you think the value is for 40?
I'm okay paying 20 because I'm loading up on those faction credits. That's how they're doing it. Because I don't think they're selling faction credits outright, are they? Are they actually selling?
Section 31 faction credits, yes.
Oh, they are. Okay. Well, never mind. I was going to say, Bubba, like that might be they're pushing engagement for you guys to earn the extra faction credits. But if they're selling faction credits right outright, then maybe not. Okay, fair enough. I'm fine with that, Bubba. I look at this. I do see the value. And by the way, we're talking everybody got 15 to start. That's not what I'm looking at as the long-term value, okay? I'm looking at the value of, if I'm getting 50 starts, that's essentially a month's worth, right? Like, because the routine credit is 1 per day. The routine start is 1 per day. So if I can buy 50, for $20, that's like 50 cents a day, for extra faction credits, which is going to speed my progress through the Section 31 store. Now, this is a good segue. I want to kind of lead into this, Bubba Joe. If you have any other commentary on the Battle Pass, please come with it, because what I want to do next is actually talk about progression through the Section 31 store, because I do believe there is a strategy here, and I think it's a little bit more familiar than what we might realize. I hope Bubba Joe agrees with me, but I want to talk to you, especially G3 players. If your progression is going to be slower, through this tree, what do you focus on first? It is not Luther Sloan. But Bubba Joe, final thoughts on that Battle Pass.
Well, if this is going to be a regular thing, I think this is a dangerous path to go down. But as a mechanism to drive engagement, I'm okay with it.
Now, I do see this as a point from Denver in the chat. There is one thing I don't like about it. The one thing I don't like about it, Bubba Joe, is the maximum cargo hold of ciphers, okay? If you're going to sell 4,000 ciphers, get rid of that cap. Okay, I'm with you, Denver. Getting a lot of directives from the Battle Pass is great, but what you are doing is kind of subconsciously or inadvertently, or not even like super duper paying attention, you're losing your daily directive income until you spend them. I believe, a lot of games do this, Bubba Joe, where like they'll let you go over your caps if it's a paid currency. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm going to buy 4,000, you got to get rid of that cap. That cap is garbage. If I'm just going to be straight up, get rid of that cap.
But if you look,
how long is it going to take you? How long is it going to take you to run through 40 starts?
The cap doesn't bother me.
Okay. But how long would it take you to run through those?
The cap is set at 10 starts, DJ. The cap is set at 10 starts. It's not 1 or 2 like it was with Mycelium. It's 10 starts.
So you're thinking that I should pace my play. Like, I got 15, so I need to be banging through these at least 5 right up front so that I'm not losing credit revenue. That's your opinion. And further,
I think the assumption was that you were going to bang through 4 or 5 just trying to figure out how this thing works.
Well, in fairness, I only played 4 last night because it is really intense. I saw Major Samo in the chat being like, hey, I sweated a lot playing. I saw that, Sam. She's like, I sweated a little bit playing this game. Like, I had to take a break, go take a shower. Like, this was intense gameplay. I know somebody out there is going to tell me I'm crazy. Somebody out there is going to say, it's not at all the same. This is the most intense.
You really start sweating when you get disconnected all those times. You're like, get me again.
I will say I didn't get. Now, I was playing on PC. I understand that the mobile experience might be a little bit different. I was playing on PC. I didn't have any problem other than with stuck ships. I didn't have disconnection problems. But Spock Monkey. I was gonna relate this to a game of Fortnite or to a game of Call of Duty. He says, as a WoW raider, this is plenty of intense. This is intense. All right, it is. And Mimi, you're exactly right. DJ, why are you concerned about the cap? These things are fun. Just keep playing them. Burn your ciphers down. It's really what you want to do anyway. And you're absolutely right. Okay? You're absolutely right. I don't disagree. I should be playing more, but golly, I also have been very busy. All right? I haven't had a chance to play as much as I want to be playing because I've been working. All right? But Frustrated Borg says, I was sweating all right, but it was because all my ships kept locking up. Stay out of the middle. Stay out of the middle, okay? That'll help a little bit. All right, so Bubba, not offended by the cap. I get it. I'm not offended by the Battle Pass. We can all agree that there are some things about this that might be cool and not cool. But all in all, I am starting to wonder if we're approaching the limit of how many battle passes we can actually run, because I can understand a player saying, okay, I got $20. I'll play $20. Okay. And then now I will say, hey, don't ever spend money on the Territory Season Capture Pass again unless they do something drastic to it, because what a waste that was. I'm glad I've not spent on it. I'm sorry. I know Scopely probably doesn't like when I say things like that. I told you guys I was going to wait to spend on it until they could prove to me some worth in it. That they haven't. They haven't. And I haven't
Really?
No. And I haven't even played it. I've been skipping the battle pass. I don't even think I could max it now without buying points, Bubba Joe, because I'm just not doing. I don't care. They have not given me anything at all to be excited about with that season pass. Nothing.
So you don't like the research?
I'm not motivated to do it. No.
Okay.
That's why
I think that's a tactical error, but okay.
I'm not alone. You know? Not alone. Look, Blaze says right there with
people, but DJ, just because there's a lot of people that didn't like, the Q's Trials Forbidden Technology didn't mean that it wasn't good, right?
Yeah, I know. I know.
I understand your reluctance. You're like, I don't see the value here. I'm telling you.
I'm not saying that
some of that research is really good.
I'm not saying that the research is bad. Okay, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they have yet to really entice me to like push it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that the research is bad, but all the tricks, all the crap that I got to go through to get there just ain't worth it to me. We talk about this, like events and worth and auctions and battle passes and milestones. And I get it. Johnny Walker says it's easy. It's also so debilitatingly boring. And Bubba, you're the one that says, I don't want Scopely to make me play on a clock. That's my thing. I don't want to play on a clock either. It's like I don't remember that I've got a territory unless I set an alarm on my phone, because it's not interesting gameplay. If it was very, very all the way back at the beginning when we were fighting and having fun and playing and doing stuff, but now it's a chore. And more than that, it's a chore that doesn't give me any kind of satisfaction whatsoever. It's literally like, it's like baseball practice. I have to show up at 6 o'clock whether I want to or not. That is not the feeling that I want out of a video game.
DJ, you're talking about this like you have to do a lot. You have to once a week send to a tier 2 or tier 3 territory and sit there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds so engaging.
I know. I'll take quality rewards for free. Thank you very much.
They're not quality rewards, though. They're only quality rewards, Bubba Joe, if you paid the $50. Okay, this takes me back to the very beginning when Forbidden Tech came out. Like, it was worth it for you because you bought the stuff and you had the extra thingies, so you were getting the extra tier up catalyst. I didn't, so it was too slow and it was bad and it was boring. This, for me, like the free track of the Season Capture Battle Pass, it's poop. It's poop.
I agree.
I'm not spending $50 on poop.
There's value in the paid track.
It's still poop.
Okay. I will happily take my tactical advantage against you every day of the week.
Enjoy your Curla shards. Anyway.
I'll enjoy my extra 30% to isolated damage for all of my ships that you can't match. Thank you very much.
All right. Now let's...
Well, he can still get to that just by doing half an effort. He doesn't have to go to all... I agree. Him skipping all of them apparently is not good.
I didn't skip them all.
He doesn't have to push for the end. Like, he doesn't have to get every single way. Just getting some finish will get him what he needs.
Yeah,
some engagement.
It's both easy and a pain, says Wyo Wonder. You're both right. I mean, I guess it sucks, but I understand that it's valuable. I'm just not. It's not valuable enough to me to put myself through the pain and suffering of going through the season battle pass. Anyway, okay. That's right, Lost In. If I don't do the research, I'm going to get killed defending my Never mind. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because Wardog can kill me anyway.
Do you think an extra 30% isolated damage is going to help you with this new feature?
Fine.
I don't know if you're going to be able to get there with as much as you've missed. So you may want to map it out as to where you're at and what you're going to be able to do.
I can buy points if I need to. Borg King
Voice
Trekker.
pack is limited to 1.
Or 3.
That 30% you're talking about, is that from research? Or is that...
Okay, fine, Bubba. Limit 1 or 3, okay? I mean, however you want to do it. All right, I'll figure that out at the end. That's
the points pack may have only been on 1 platform.
Nah. Is that true?
Anyway,
I'll figure it out later.
regardless.
I don't even care. All right, Borg King Trekker, you got a question. Let me see. Are they going to add Voyager into the event store? I was not aware. That was not one of the ones that they gave me. They gave me Monavine, they gave me Borg, they gave me Titan A. That's what's in this month's event store. Okay. All right, now, Bubba Joe, we've got a few minutes left because I don't want to be on super late tonight. I got Oliver in the house. I got to go cook some dinner and have some fun. And I would like to actually play the game. Okay? Like, I don't get to feel that way very often, Bubba Joe. I actually want to play. Okay? So
when was the last time you said that and meant it?
Voyager's Arc. Voyager's Arc. Which, admittedly, was not that long ago, but still too long for me to say I like playing the game. I know, Sam. I just want to play. Okay. That being said, I want to spend some time on the Section 31 faction store. Bubba Joe, I don't know what it looks like for a moderate to heavy spender. Okay. I would imagine that you guys can come in and just do whatever it is you want to do really, really fast. First of all, let me just ask the question. Aside from the daily drip of reputation, can you get rep faster, Bubba Joe? Are you able to buy rep, or are you limited to what you're doing in the store with redemption?
There is basically what's limited in the store. There is a pack that I've seen that has rep.
Okay. Might be worth looking at.
It is the pack that gives the quick start.
All right, let me see if I can find that real quick. I just want to look at it. Here it is. Wave Defense Quick Start Special. So 11,000 faction credits, which honestly, crazy enough, it's not that much. Okay? I mean, that's like 3
It turns out it's exactly enough to buy the quick start.
The quick start. There you go. It comes with 15,000 reputation, and
which turns out is the level you need to have to get the quick start.
You mean it's properly mathed out? Crazy. Honestly, the resources and materials don't look that bad in here either. The lat is okay. Yeah, really not that bad. If you take a look at the entire pack as a whole, I want to bring you back. Let's see, not this screenshot. Where's that other screenshot where I wanted to show you guys? Shoot, hang on. Trying to find it. Here you go. This is what I was looking for right here, where it shows the actual brackets. This, again, is in the graphics room. It's like the next to last post in the graphics room where you can see the what it takes, all right, to get there. As a matter of fact, Bubba Joe, that's why we don't have the analyst information, because if you bought 15,000 rep, it skips over that bundle, doesn't it? So you mean for science, I need to wait until I get to 5,000 and then buy the pack for you guys? Is that what you're saying? God, that's terrible. You skip over the entire bracket so we can't actually see what's in the middle. All right, well, we'll continue to work on that because, yeah, it'll take me straight up beyond 15,000, so it'll skip the analyst bracket, and we want to see what's in there. So, yeah, for science, I'm going to have to wait. But I will do that, and I'll get you guys the contents. That being said, Bubba Joe, let's pretend that we're going to slow roll this thing, okay? We're going to slow roll this thing. And if you're buying it, then obviously you can buy some favors. You can start moving through and doing some things in this store. But at this moment in time, Everywhere It Matters says how many days is 5,000 rep? It's not that much, is it? It's only 10 days because you can buy a double bundle. So it's only 10 days. I can get 500 reputation a day, and apparently I must have gotten another 100 somewhere because it started you with 100. I've got 700, so I don't know where the other 100 came from. Maybe a mission or something like that. But Bubba Joe, if we are going to step through this thing relatively slowly, I think I look at this thing like Jem'Hadar are. Crazy enough, I think I look at this thing exactly the opposite of Outlaw. I think reputation has to be, especially if you are early. Right? If you're slow, if you're a G3 player and you're only getting through a couple of waves, I think it's got to be rep. You got to dump everything into rep because what you need is building materials. You need the reps so that you can start. And
Depending on what they do with the buffs, Bubba Joe, that could end up being a priority, but I kind of got to think that these favors are going to make a huge, massive difference to their ability to get an extra wave or two. You know, if, like I saw in the chat earlier, somebody saying, okay, I can't get through level 1. Well, a couple of favors, that's going to get you through level 1. All right, I don't see how it doesn't. I mean, truthfully, I think adjusting your strategy and your crew and your ships and your targeting will probably get you an extra wave or two. But the favors are certainly going to help. And maybe, depending on what they do to the buff of this building, that could end up helping as well. So, Bubba, if you were just, day one eyeballing this thing, I think, just like with Deep Space Nine, I think reputation has got to be the go-hard point.
I agree. Rep is king right now.
Yeah. Get that rep. Get to the point where you can start working on the favors.
The only warning I would give to that is to let some people get out in front of you, and there's already some data out there, and let them show you whether there is a break point where some of these bundles become worse, like has happened in basically every tree we've ever had.
Yeah.
Where you go up in level and the cost goes up by a factor of 4 and the amount you get goes up by 4%.
Yeah. I don't know if that's going to happen on this thing. I have no clue. But some of the data that we just don't have the data yet. We've got to work through the data. We don't have that yet. So it's.
I understand and I agree. I'm just saying that before you go up a level, I would
make sure that
you gain
we
the
know.
reputation that sends you up a level. I would look.
Yeah.
I would look for that information and determine that this is where you want to be.
Watch for this chart. Actually, as a matter of fact, look here, Bubba Joe. I've already got an update. Hang on. Jules already has an update for us. Let's pop this up. I'll throw this in the graphics room now. Okay, guys. Jules Verne has already. Now, how does somebody already have 35,000 rep? How's that even possible? Oh, they triple bot. Bubba Joe, they've got 45,000 rep already.
Hello, DJ. My name is somebody. How can I help you?
It took me a second to put it together. Like, wait, what? How does somebody already have 35,000? Oh, okay. Oh, God, things are so silly. All right, so here's an updated chart. It is in the graphics room for you guys to take a look at, so you can already see. Sorry, I'm trying to keep it together. You can already see how some of this stuff is moving through. All right, so let's take a quick look at this, Bubba Joe. Reputation at the first level. You've got 2 chests. This is what they cost, 560, 1,400. You get 250 rep. Does not, of course, nobody knows what analyst looks like because everybody skipped it. I'll try to get that for you when I come back through. Arian.
Yeah.
Arian's like, I'm going to take these pots and pans and I'm going to beat them with metal spoons. Don't worry about it. It's called my keyboard. I'm kidding. What are you typing with? Is that a sledgehammer?
Me?
Yes, you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that I thought my mute was on. My keyboard is.
It's okay. I've been there. At least it was my check-in.
That is a snare drum. That is a snare drum, and I'm typing with drumsticks. All right, yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, that's funny. No problem. No worries. Taking a look at Infiltrator, guys, we can see that the rep will double. 500 reputation, but the same price. Oh, my God, Bubba. Bubba, look at your screen. They might have actually fixed the reverse efficiency problem here. Look at your screen. So look at Infiltrator.
DJ, does it sound like I'm sitting at my computer anymore?
All right, Bubba, let me just tell you. What is your first reaction if I tell you this? Hey, at rep bracket number 1, 560 and 1,400 are the cost for 250 rep, okay? We don't have the data on rep bracket 2, so let's go to rep bracket 3. 560 and 1,400 are the cost. Same cost as rep bracket 1.
but the rep now goes to 500. But the costs are the same. Okay, cool. Let's go to
good so far.
So it's good so far. Let's go to rep bracket 4. Cost $560 and $1,400. Rep $675.
That sounds great.
Holy smokes! Did they finally learn?
It's better to go further into the tree. It's amazing.
Holy God, they're going to reward you for engaging. Holy crap! Holy smokes. Now, does it go up with ops? Actually, what Jules and Blue are telling us here is that the loop currency will not vary based on ops. However, the Section 31 transmitters, which are the building materials, they are going to be ops-based, and reputation will be rep-banded. But the costs are still the same. It's just going to depend on your current ops and or reputation level. But, Bubba, we're not seeing any evidence, at least through bracket number 4 out of 6, we're not seeing any evidence of reverse efficiency, which I think is absolutely phenomenal. Now, talking about the Dolomite.
That is wonderful.
Isn't it? I mean, obviously the chart's not complete, but at least through the first 4 out of 6, we're not seeing any evidence of that. Now, I know that a lot of you guys are going to be excited about Dolomite. Please resist the urge. Please resist the urge, especially if you're a low-spend Dolphin or free-to-play player. The Dolomite is the icing on the cake, okay? The Dolomite is the icing on the cake. Please do not invest heavily into that early. You need the favors. Here's what's going to happen, guys. The favors are going to increase what Bubba Joe talked about at the very beginning, okay? Bubba Joe said you need to survive longer. You need to make it deeper into the wave defense. You need to be there at the end. Doing that will increase your payout and increase your likelihood of being able to play more often with larger players. Okay, so you need to be able to survive. You need to be able to be relied upon in wave 8, 9, and 10 to get there for your team. By doing so, you will earn more credits, which will allow you to buy more favors faster, get more rep faster, and the faster you get through this rep and the faster you get through the favors, then the sooner you get to dessert, which is going to be your officer sourcing, your Dolomite particles, your Syndicate XP, your reputation, the skins, whatever it is you want. But I'm here to tell you right now, rep first, depending on what they do with the building buff, maybe building, maybe favors. As of right now, Bubba Joe, as of this moment, it's favors. Okay? As of this moment, it's favors. But if they do something significant to the building, that could shift. All right? But, yeah, rep, favors, building, dessert. Okay? You guys want to talk about the favors very quickly? We can do that, of course, at the analyst. At 5,000 reputation, only 3 favors become available at level 1, which is whole health, mitigation, and critical hit chance. That's it. The number of faction credits are not cheap. 8,400 for 2 of them, 5,600 for the other, and that's only level 1. We do not have any deeper, further data other than Zenith, Solstice, and Hermes comes at Infiltrator, which is 15,000 rep, and they cost 14,000 faction credits, Bubba Joe. And then Yo-Yo Dine, which is Impulse Speed, doesn't unlock until Agent, which is 17,000 faction credits. How many points do you need for max rep? 150,000 reputation. 150,000 reputation will lock you in. All right, and that is Spy Master. That is your last bracket. Any questions about the Section 31 faction store, Bubba Joe, or should we prepare to get ready to wrap up? Which favors to get first? Okay, Bubba Joe, let's answer this question. There's only 3 favors that become available at Analyst. Whole health, mitigation, crit hit chance, all 3 of them affecting wave defense. Rank them for me.
Crit chance, whole health, mitigation.
Crit chance, whole health, mitigation, says Bubba Joe. Crit chance, whole health, mitigation in that order. Okay, that's what Bubba Joe says. All right. Hypodermic says, I think that chart is wrong. I'm showing the first favor unlocks at Infiltrator. Nobody can know that. Nobody can know that, Hypodermics, because anybody who is at Infiltrator
spent and skipped over analyst. So
no. It looks
we're losing Bubba. Actually, you know what? Hold on. No, analyst, agent. Wait, which one's no? Agent, infiltrator, analyst. Yeah, they're all analysts. I don't see anything that unlocks before analyst. They show right here on the screen, guys. So Hermes is infiltrator, which is 15,000. Zenith, Solstice is 15,000. Yo-Yo-Don is agent, and then Hephaestus, Ephemeris, and Athena are all analysts, which is 5,000. So yeah, they're right there on the screen, guys. I think that's right. Okay, I think that's right. They're right there. Okay. Any other questions before we get ready to wrap up? It's been a good show. We are at about 2.5 hours, Bubba Joe, but I think that's a good time for today.
Some people asking about a mention about that new other feature.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we could spend a minute on this. Real quick. Oh, yes, Dolomite, cooldown.
That's 20. How long it's going to take.
It took 5 minutes. Fallopian, the Dolomite cooldown is 22 hours. Dolomite cooldown is 22 hours, and it costs 700 faction credits to get 10 Dolomite. All right? Which, I know that might seem a little bit low, but I mean, really, honestly, 700 credits is not that much. If you can get through wave 3, I mean, it's there. That's sourcing. All right? That's sourcing. Griffin wants to talk about the new weekend buff events. I'll be honest with you, I don't know much about them other than the bonuses that we had talked about in the Arkfall video. We'll probably know more about that coming up this coming weekend, but I can't do a whole lot on that right now because I don't know what the events are. Yo, what's up, Nolan? What are you doing? How'd you sleep the other night? My buddy Nolan, he did a sleep stream. This was really a lot of fun. Now, it also convinced me, Bubba Joe, that I will never do one. Okay, like watching somebody else do a sleep stream just proved to me that I will never do it because every time he started nodding off, people started playing these crazy loud sound alerts and horrible things. I was definitely part of the problem. I may or may not have been a significant part of the problem. Every time he would just like to start to pass out, it'd be a loud bullhorn or something. Yeah, by people, I mean people like me. That's what it is. Shout out Nolan for making sure that
a cheap way to find out if you have sleep apnea or something?
Yeah, I'll tell you, I appreciate it, Nolan, for teaching me the fact that I would never, ever want to do those. So that was a lot of fun. All right, real quick, you guys are wanting to talk about, and Bubba Joe had a bad connection. I don't know if he's back, but Bubba, have you had a chance to engage with the new battle simulator? I'm gonna talk about this. What's that? No, I don't have you, Bubba. You're crazy, man.
Hear me now?
Nah, guy, I don't have you. Oh, he dropped. He'll be back. All right, real quick, I'm going to tell you about this battle simulator because honestly, last night, there were very few people that actually understood and what this was. Let me just tell you, if you're new or if you haven't seen it, if you don't have Kirk or you don't have Kirk maxed out, let me just throw this out there, guys. There are not many easier ways in the game to earn 100 epic shards other than like the 5-year anniversary, all right, where they just gave you 100 epic shards. But let me tell you something. If you go to the exterior view of your base, you're going to see a new building floating in space. Go to the exterior view of your base, you're going to see a new building floating over here. By the way, as accurately pointed out by Blue Mandalorian, if you have your Borg cube in dock, there is a high degree of likelihood you're not going to see it. All right. If you have your Borg cube in a dock, you're not actually going to see it. But back there, you've got a battle simulator. Click on the little button. You can pop in here, and these are super, super easy, little, simple clicker games. All right. Now, the graphics are great.
I thought this was going to be something completely different where you could test the capabilities of your
I thought so too.
Yeah.
I thought this was going to be something really, really different. It's not. It's just a real simple little clicker mini game. All right. You go in. By the way, there's a field training dedicated to this. Have you guys seen this? If you guys go into your field training, you'll see that there's a field training dedicated to this, which is really, truthfully, only offering an avatar and a frame. Okay, it's an avatar and a frame. Not a big deal.
Okay, it's not a bunch of latinum, it's not a bunch of steel, but this is a very cool thing. Now, I've already gone through and did all 10 of these. I did them in a timed fashion on the Twitch show last night. But guys, contained within those 10 milestones are 100 epic Kirk shards. 100 epic Kirk shards. 100 epic Kirk shards that you can earn in the span of 5 or 6 minutes. Okay? And for the record, just so
hang on, DJ.
Yes.
Is this something that existed in the game before?
Not that I'm aware of. No.
Okay. Has anything that even remotely looks like this existed in the game before?
No.
So how can you not say this is new?
Oh, did I say it wasn't new? I think it's awesome. I think it doesn't have really anything to do. Like, I joked last night on Twitch. I feel like, I hope we get more of these, all right? But I feel like there was a lot of time, money, and development spent on this for 5 minutes worth of enjoyment, okay? Like, now, I hope that they do more with this in the future. Honest to God, I hope that they do something like every month with something like this. But I played it for 5 minutes and I'm done.
It felt like? It felt like this was the bridge between their ads and the game.
Yes, this felt like an iOS ad or an Android ad. It was very, very cool. It is very, very new, and it is very, very rewarding. They put 100 epic Kirk shards in this. So if you're a newer player, if you're a brand new player to the game, you don't have Kirk maxed or even unlocked, here you go. I mean, look, Zandy's, Ops 52. Zandy's. You're kidding me. He said it finally got me enough to max Kirk. You're lying. You're on server 12 in Ops 52. If you didn't have Kirk maxed out 3 years ago, we gonna have words, buddy. All right. Wire Speed says this exists. They could actually show it in an ad and say actual in-game footage. Maybe so. Whatever. All right. But the fact is, it's here and it's rewarding and it worked and it's kind of cool.
And what does it teach you about combat, DJ?
It teaches you that the critical hits are the ones that you need to hit. All right.
Bingo.
Yeah. Which
is the single most important thing to learn about combat in Star Trek Fleet
This
Command.
was a very subtle message that critical hits are the only ones that matter in this game. All right. Here to tell you guys, critical hits are the only ones that matter in this game. You don't have a critical, you don't play the game anymore, okay? Like, that's as simple as it gets. You must hit the critical. That is the only way that you win the game, all right? But it is oh, man, I still have another weapon up here. Daggone, I'm not going to get 3 stars. Ah! Nope, I lost a star. And, of course, Bubba Joe, this was like the old, like, Crash Bandicoot, like, got to get them all. I replayed each level until I got 3 stars. I did. Anybody else out there? Did you guys replay it? Did you guys replay it until you got 3 stars? I did.
It was just pointed out to me that I wasn't using the second weapon. So
yeah, there's a second weapon.
And you didn't use it. Looks like a bigger weapon too.
Yeah. Oh, it is. It's a kinetic. It's an energy versus a kinetic. Guys, there is a little bit, Bubba. But it also demonstrates the difference between an energy and a kinetic. All right. I mean, listen. There's a super teeny tiny.
To learn here.
Yeah, there's a super teeny tiny little bit of game knowledge in here. Also, for example, if you take a look up in the right hand corner, it's that's the ship, your enemy's firing pattern. All right, it's going on about its firing pattern. Every time it fills up, it's throwing another shot back at you, and you've got your own health bar and all this stuff. Bubba, I mean, it's not how we know Star Trek Fleet Command, okay, obviously. But It is cool. It is nifty. It's graphically pleasing. It was also highly rewarding. Very rewarding, okay? And Hani says, what second weapon? So here, it's down at the bottom right-hand corner. You've got an energy and a kinetic. The energy is like this white or this blue one. And then right next to it is the kinetic. It's like a gold. It has a longer cooldown or a longer charge up time, but that's true, right? Kinetics take longer to charge up. So when you click on that, it will do more damage, all right? As a matter of fact, if you line it up just right, It's pretty much one shot, one kill. All right, so that just, again, shows you the power of kinetic as compared to energy and shows you the power of a critical shot as compared to a regular shot. So very, very interesting stuff over here, Bubba Joe. I enjoyed the feature. I thought it was quirky. I thought it was silly. But most importantly, I thought it was fresh, innovative, different, and rewarding. And I don't know if any of you guys read through some of the quotes, but the quotes were actually kind of nice too. Like they were quotes from in-game or quotes from in the series, like in the shows. So it was nice. I thought it was cool. I think it's very, very cool, Bubba Joe. I hope that they do it more. But it does feel like a lot of work went into it for not a long-term piece of gameplay. Go ahead.
So back on wave defense, okay?
Uh-huh.
If there's 5 of me, me and 4 friends are all doing wave defense, and one of them falls out in wave 3, and we continue on to wave 8, does everyone get the same reward?
Yeah.
Or do you only get the rewards of the ones you survived?
No, they got the full rewards. I had a teammate last night that died early, but he still got the wave 8 rewards, which is the wave that we completed. We died in level 9. He died in like 6, but he got the wave 8 rewards. So, yeah, it is. It's for the team survival. Yep, everybody gets the last completed wave. So there is a world. And by the way, this happened last night.
For the reward or for the event completion too? Because I'm okay. Never mind.
Probably
I was
both.
half thinking that we had made
probably
the 5th
both.
round, but I still had to do another.
Yeah, probably both. I will throw this out there too.
So
there is a world in which your whales will help you do this. Okay, there is. But my God, don't show up unannounced. Last night, that made me so angry last night, Bubba Joe. And again, why this feature does need a tweak or two. There definitely needs to be team management tools. There needs to be stars, X's, something. Because I had 4 people show up, and then some rando from my server popped in. Oh, I was miffed. We had to start. We had to leave. We had to start over.
So, DJ,
Yeah.
As far as the event scoring goes, I scored in the event as I was proceeding through. Like, as the event was still going on, I was proceeding through the event. So my guess is that you actually have to survive that wave. It's not that you've got to ride the tail through the whatever.
That makes sense.
But that's my guess. I don't know that for certain, but I was scoring in the
as you went along.
I had awards popping up, so I was scoring through the event as I was progressing wave by wave.
Now, Shizman, we're talking about 2 different things. He says it's the wave being completed. You're getting the score from wave completion. You're getting the faction credit rewards from the team play, and that may be correct. I haven't tested that yet, so we need to double-check that. Shizman says, Bubba, he thinks you're right, in which the event is scoring on your individual participation, but the rewards are scoring based on what the team's accomplishments were as far as the faction credit payouts from Section 31. Okay? Stevens Aaron is confirming that is correct. Oh, Shizman is saying no. Wait, what? No. Shizman, you definitely do get paid based on the team. Shizman says the event scores on team progression. All right, somebody else go test it. I'm not going to. At least not right now. I won't be the first one that dies. Shizman says you get paid on the team. Event scores on the team as well. Okay. Actually, Galvi and DeHaggis are also saying it's team progression. Well, I guess y'all just need to go out and figure it out.
That's great. I just knew that I knew that I was scoring in the events as we were progressing through. So I didn't know once you fall off if you were still scoring in the events.
Yeah, I guess what that means is, I guess, Shizman, if that's it, then if I die and my team completes another wave, I should see another milestone being killed. I should see another milestone being checked off. So maybe that's the way it goes. I don't know.
And DJ, don't lie. You could go to a wave defense and die. You have ships that will do that.
What? Yeah. Why would I want to do that?
Because then you could prove this.
Yeah, I could.
You've done way stupider things on stream.
I have done stupider things for science. All right, I'll check it out. We'll do it tomorrow night if you guys still.
No, you do not have to do that, DJ.
I've done dumber things for science. I've done it. Ken Jr. says, if you didn't get an officer of choice, why would they take the token away? Because I was offline this past week, but I didn't get. Oh, dude. I mean, the token's probably. Well, no, if you weren't online, you probably didn't claim the token, right? And it wasn't a token; it was 10,000 tokens. The way that they did it, it wasn't a singular token.
they gave you 10,000 loot, and then the officer unlocked took 10,000 loot. If you weren't there to claim it, I mean, they didn't just put it in your inventory. You had to be online to claim it and then spend it. So referring to the 5-year anniversary gift, I hate that if you were offline, I hate that you missed that because that was pretty, I mean, that was valuable. You know what? People were fussy about that, Bubba. Shame on y'all. That's all I'm going to say.
I was also shaming people that were
Shame
fussy
on
about
y'all being fussy about that. I mean, listen, that's 100 epic shards. That's progression no matter how you spin at it. I know everywhere it matters. People were getting fussy about it. There is no way to spin that other than that is a chunk of progression. So, like, Tarpy says, we complain about everything, man. That's true.
Rewards be better than 4-year rewards and not just a copy of the same thing they did last year.
Shut up, Karkin.
Hey, someone's got to remind.
It wasn't
was
just
being
100 shards. It was enough for an unlock. So if you chose Picard, you got 180 shards. That's what you needed to unlock.
Okay,
Picard.
that's fair. All right, it was the unlock, but still, I see Karkin's point. Karkin was like, "Hey, should it be more than 4 years?" I mean, can I just be honest with you? It wasn't going to be that. The Player Advisory Council argued for it to be that when we saw the plan. We said, "Listen, you gotta at least do that."
Well, I'm happy for my auto upgrade. So,
I mean,
thank you.
Well, yeah, quit being so fussy. All right, at least it was the same. I mean, can you imagine if it was worse?
Hey, I always love getting socks for Christmas, so whatever.
There you go. All right, guys. That's right. Hellbot says, it unlocked Odo for me. Yeah, be happy, okay? Zandy says, I'm closer to max at 5 of 11. I know. There you go. All right, everybody's happy.
I'm sorry, DJ, can we talk about one more thing before you go?
Bubba, if you can't do it in the next 60 seconds, then I actually have to take a break because Twitch is dumb. So if you can't do it in 90 seconds, we got to go. All right.
I want to say thank you very much to whoever decided to put last event store's officers into this event store.
Yeah. Yep. Nice.
If that's going to be a change moving forward, massive props, massive applause. That is an absolutely
I give you all
fantastic
the buttons.
change.
There you go. Bubba Joe wants you to have the buttons. Dahaga says, I want Torres. Already had your shot.
Torres was in the last event.
That's
store.
right. Already had your shot.
This is the first time you've had a chance to get. This is the first time you've had a chance to get Neelix.
Neelix, I will max Neelix. Yep.
My initial
it's absolutely fantastic.
I'm going to max Neelix and Data.
Data, yeah, that Data was going to be my goal, but them tossing Neelix in from last month, it kind of makes sense because it was such a short arc.
That's Simpy is saying that. There's hardly any officers from this event store. That's just it. There's only 2. Data and Picard. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all you got. So, anywho. But, no, here's the thing. Technically, the reason that they probably did that is because it was a shorter, you're right, Bubba. It was nice to see Neelix in there. Ransusi says, I hope they pump up the loot numbers. We'll start tracking. We will start tracking right away, but I don't have any early guesses as to what they'll be. But we will track, and we'll be giving you guys pacing throughout the month. All right, Bubba Joe, I've got to bounce. Anything else, community? Anything else from any of you? Anybody? Anybody? Hey. Gonna bark at you a little bit? No? All right. Thank you, guys.
You're a cat.
Oh, yeah. Meow. Okay. All right. There you go. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out on the show. Great show today. I like the fact that we were able to really talk about this, Bubba Joe. I am really, day one feature, I'm very, very excited. Okay, I'm very excited. I like the strategy. I want to play through this. I want to get better. I want to get to the end. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to teach more. We're going to give more strategy as it is discovered. I do want to remind you guys also to enter into the Spam It room. We will be giving away 5 battle passes coming up in 48 hours. All right, be sure to go over there and visit us online at TalkingTrekSTFC.com. TalkingTrekSTFC.com, where you can find links to our Twitch, our YouTube, merchandise. Guys, you only have like 4 days left to get your Talking Trek merchandise. If you want it in time for Christmas, make sure that you go and do that now. If you're in the Twitch audience, we're going to raid out to Rebdeuce here in just a moment, but not before I say thank you to our gold supporters. Thank you, Lord Neelix, Lady Kess, Trader Iron Shepherd, Chalarmy, D-Law, Meckrack,
Hammerhead, Regis, J-Berg, Shady Pots, Big Shakes, Lobot, it's Hunter, Degora, Cruzito, Ransusi, Ank, Ape, DJ Gur, MC101, Late Nighter, Lightbolt, Chloe P, Zalvinar, Ensign Kim, Stormbreaker, Bayonetta, Grog, Thorn, Archangel, Smoke, Mohawk, Purr, Jetski, Papa Smurf, Jason, Captain Jack, Vanium, Scorpionus, Archer, and Honey, and Dominus, Casey Jones, DJ is Taos, BFF, Chronic Break, K92, Sir Tail, Warren, A Fox, Judge Craig, G-Force, Maminkas, Captain Q, Garrett Game Jr., Admiral in Water, Cha-Cha War, Scarlet Hawk, Loser, Kendall, Wardon, Once More Whips, 7 of 9, Jack and Never Go, Phil Tilly, Blue Mandalorian, Noxus, Exhibitor, Fermax, Dr. Link, Clueless One, Schizoido, Likes of Bath Welch, Finding Texas Aggie, Gunner, Mighty Croc, Unimatrix, DJs, Once, The Forbidden Tech, The Web, Balabomb, King 101, Primal Fear, Medic 213, J-Babes, Dark Knight, Pixelate, Lost End, Buddy, Spectre, Yukon, Nico, Diva, Dorsal, Oster, 90, McLovin, DJ Screams my name, Dragon Pirate, Shoopster, Griffin, Mean Bean, Thomas, Everywhere It Matters, Mid Strangler, Matt Scott, Shannara, Evil Dragonfly, Gradumacated, and I believe that there was actually a couple of names newer there. I need to update my list. Thank you guys for being gold supporters. That means that they contribute $10 or more per month to the show and turn their names gold here in the chat, and we get to read their names at the end of the show. Thank you guys so much for your support of Talking Trek, a registered trademark and recorded in front of a live studio audience for distribution across podcast platforms everywhere. My name is UltimatDJz. I'm your friendly neighborhood cat person. Say me over now. Love you, me to catch you on the next one. Bye, everybody. Whoop. Oh, deep breath.